taking down the Town Hall. Those were just the heroes. And that's the crazy thing, how those pros using the heroes. There's the freeze. Queen ability, is he getting down the Town Hall? That's the big question. The Queen ability is in and the Town Hall is going down. That's so much value. Incredible hero dive.
That is probably the most insane hero dive that I've ever seen come through. Expecting that to actually work the way it did.
Slammer. There's the invisibility spell, as we have said. Taking down the Single Inferno Tower. And oh my goodness, can Gundive turn things around? The Single Inferno Tower is going down. The Warden as well. And now the Dragon Rider is coming in, is closing in. And you can see there is the fist in the air. And he is... I mean, it wasn't even over yet for us, but he's getting that.
Healers to help out with the mix, though. Ice Golems could do some good work considering the surrounding defenses here, but the Queen needs to survive. The Rocket Loon's coming down, freezes up at least one of them, but ranges up the healers. And the Queen, is able to recover and save that ability.
Queen charge Lado. Is it Lado? And no, instead, it is going to be a blimp. Is it going to be a super archer, super wizard blimp? And that could be a lot of value. So that's an awesome entry right there with the Warden ability covering that blimp to get into that core. And he's taking down the Town Hall. Oh my goodness, this value already looks awesome.
So this does mean RPG coming in with the 3-star does secure their win overall on percent. But hold up, we've got the tornado traps. The minions, the pups will secure it, and he is unjinxable in getting that win. There is no way that Lady B with air targeting defenses, so these minions could actually get it done, but the question is time, especially with the Warden. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, the face cam, it's so good how he's celebrating. I mean, is it kind of close because of the skeletons? I feel like time is a problem. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he... Oh my god, what is he doing? Yeah, 20 more seconds, and I think time is going to be the biggest issue right there for him. The Warden is coming short, and he is trying to keep showing us how crazy of a save this was. It's 7 seconds left. And is it going to be a 3? He's not even watching.
Minute 20 left. We've got those super drags still working along. I don't know how much health is on that top one, but this one towards the bottom of the base with the unicorn helping out, keeping going strong. And it looks like we've got the 13-star finish coming in for Perumania, so keeping up to the standards that they held. And definitely showcasing the immense defense that any team that faces them tomorrow is going to have to go up against. Here come the traps, but not enough to hold it back and keep that 3-star. Alberto finishing off strong. So a huge congratulations to Perumania for coming in with the victory through the top bracket of this. And they will wait to see who their opponent will be tomorrow. Hello and welcome to the Queso Cup Golden Edition playoffs. We are in day 2, the final day, and you just saw the incredible highlights that we had coming in. Yesterday was an epic matchup of epic proportions with so much fun, so much hype, and that just means we have even more to come. I'm Lady B, and joined, of course, by seasoned veteran, pro player, and expert analysis, Itsu. How are you doing today, Itsu?
I'm doing wonderful. I mean, we are going to get to that second day today of Clash action. All of those teams are getting into the final phase for this crazy tournament. And I think for that, we should dive actually in and take a look at the format, how those remaining teams got to this stage. Because I mean, you can see there's a pretty long road which those teams already went through. A lot of phases, starting with the 2 qualifiers, with a lot of teams joining, over 256 teams, and only 8 out of those teams were able to qualify in qualifier 1 and 2. In the Swiss stage then, we started with 16 teams, and we left that Swiss stage with 8 teams. And today, the second day of the playoffs, the second day of this final bracket, and we're down to overall only 4 teams. 4 teams who have the chance of winning a lot of prize money, but as well the golden ticket, Lady B.
Oh, yes, indeed. And when we talk about this prize pool, we're talking about a $50,000 prize pool on the line. Now, third place is going to walk away with $5,000, second place with $15,000, but it is first place that picks up the big cash prize of $30,000 and the golden ticket, which will advance that team on directly into the World Championships. So there is a lot on the line, and it has been a long haul for these teams, and they certainly have been impressing today. From what we saw yesterday, I can't wait to see what is to come in store for these final remaining attacks, Itsu.
Yeah, and for that, we should introduce our remaining teams, because you can see on your screen right now, 16 teams. Those were the teams which started into that Swiss stage, which survived the qualifier phase. And we're down now to only 4 teams. STRUT, Repotted, X Team, and Perumania. All of them are on fire. They are going for this golden ticket. And I cannot wait to see what type of bases, what type of attacks we're going to see today. But before that, we should take a look at the bracket. We should take a look at what matches we can expect today, what matches, what possible matchups we could have today, because we are in the last remaining, in the last part of that bracket overall. But, I mean, overall, we can have a couple of different matchups in general.
Yeah, there's going to be pretty exciting matches to come. And, you know, we saw a lot of hype, a lot of excitement coming in today. Of course, the first matchup that we're going to get to see is going to be STRUT facing off Repotted Gaming. And you talked about it yesterday. These are 2 teams that we do expect to go against each other pretty hard, with really great defenses coming in through the series and some great scoring wars. So this is a nicely equal match. But the team that wins this one will wind up advancing on to face off against X Team, who wound up dropping down into the lower bracket after losing against Perumania yesterday. Perumania is the dark horse in the mix because a lot of teams did not expect to see what they had coming in. And I think the biggest surprise is that they've come in with heavy defenses. I mean, where we're seeing a lot of 14 and 15 star wars with a lot of the teams, Perumania is holding teams back to 12 and even 11 stars in their wars. So this puts them in a really good position coming into the mix, and it is going to be quite a battle going into it.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's always an interesting and intense matchup. But you mentioned one matchup we want to take a look at is Repotted versus STRUT. Both of those teams were opting into legend-style bases, where at the moment there's 2 really popular styles, which means it's box bases and, for example, it's those diamond-shaped bases, but as well ring bases coming back, especially with Repotted really showing off, holding back MS Esports quite a bit on defense yesterday, and that was really impressive. A big surprise seeing MS Esports dropping out early, and that's the format. It is single elimination for the first couple of matches, which means STRUT and Repotted, it's their tournament life, which is on the line, because whichever team is going to lose, they're out of this first golden ticket qualifier, first golden ticket opportunity for this year, and you don't want to lose that early. And both teams, I think, are born ready for this matchup. And I really want to see if they keep sticking to the success which they had so far on offense and defense, especially with taking a look at those bases, because we have seen ring versus more like the traditional box-style bases of STRUT. So really looking forward to see what at the end is going to win and what is going to be more annoying to attack. And as well, because I think this war is going to be kind of a deciding factor for the next weeks in Legend League, because whoever is going to win, those bases are going to be everywhere.
They definitely will be. I think one of the most interesting things I'm looking forward to is we've seen some mix-ups. I mean, we know that Repotted Gaming is a team that has some versatility in the mix. Now, STRUT is a team that has almost always stuck to certain types of plans, but in the recent weeks, we've been seeing them switching up their attack styles, going in with different approaches. So this could be throwing Repotted Gaming for a loop and making it a little bit harder for them to try and defend, knowing that they're coming in with various strategies and not always the same thing. So I think Repotted Gaming is going to have to expect the unexpected coming in from STRUT, but equally, it's those bases that Repotted has been able to hold against, like you mentioned, against MS Esports, which is a huge feat for them from yesterday. But what's really exciting about this is we have the single elimination coming into this match, but X Team, who we saw a very interesting performance from, and of course the Valks, that did not work out quite so well. They were able to turn around the war. They still have a fighting chance to get back into this, into the finals, where Perumania is sitting with that advance in ahead. We talked about yesterday the way the bracket works out, and it's technically a best of 3, but Perumania is going to go into the finals with an advanced lead since they've carried through over in the top bracket. So they already have a win under their belt. So whoever has to go up against them is going to have to try and get that first win to try and take them down. And Perumania, being the dark horse, leads a lot open. So it's all a question of how much these teams have been paying attention through the hard of STRUT. So let's see what he can do. RPG looks like they've already come in with a 2-star on the board. So this puts a big advantage into STRUT. We can take a look a little bit later to see what's going on with this, but looking into it, we've got Tryhard still having the blimp intact, and the Queen charging her way through, taking on the Town Hall, drops that invisibility spell, giving her a little bit more life, and those healers coming through into the single targeting Inferno.
Yeah, and with that Queen now taking out the single Inferno tower, he might be able to use a wall break to get into one of those. But no, there's no wall break just left. That's unfortunate. He could have used another wall break to get further in, because now the screen is kind of stuck for a little bit, and the Lalo has to start from the top side because it's only 1 minute left for this attack, and there's still a lot of base left. In addition to that, he is going now into 2 sweepers. He needs to make sure that this Queen is speeding things up, because she is the only troop which can take down those sweepers. The first sweeper is going down from this Royal Champ ability, which is clutch. But those loons, I'm not sure if they can push through. There's not much on the back end, but time is ticking as well.
Yeah, time certainly is ticking. 35 seconds left to go, and there is still a lot of base left to be had. That Stone Slimer opening up will help spread out some additional loons, and the Drag Rider. We've got the minions and pups working together on those storages, including Lassie coming into the mix. Queen's landlocked here, so not able to really help out, but the spread has worked out nicely for Tryhard. A 3-star here on the board is going to put them in the lead. Lead, and as we already know, which unfortunately we missed the attack, but there is a 2-star on the board, so defense coming in strong there for STRUT, and this is the way that they want to kick off this war, taking the advance. But it does not mean that they can hold back against Repotted Gaming. We've seen some beautiful defenses coming in from them, and they can quickly try and turn this war around.
Yeah, we have seen now from Repotted that they were going in a different direction base-wise than they had yesterday. I guess because maybe the STRUT is known for pushing on Legends, so they're kind of going with this approach that they can obviously attack those ring bases, which are not that unpopular on Legends. So maybe that's the approach. Who knows? And obviously the attack from Repotted we're going to see that later in the day and rewatch that as the match is over. But we're now in the next attack, and we have now, surprisingly, STRUT on the other side running those ring bases. So let's see if Repotted can deal with it now this time around. And Timtastic is coming in. No Blizzard Lalo, nothing Blizzard and Lalo wise in that one. Instead, he is coming in with the Super Dragons. A really powerful troop, and can he push that all the way? And he's risking it all, everything on the line, with using a slammer instead of like a blimp or something, which will, well, will be interesting to get to the Town Hall, because we have seen that yesterday, like a similar approach with the Flame Flinger from Sinti, missing out on the Town Hall, and this meant he had to invest a lot in saving that in a second star, and then obviously the percentage aren't that great either.
Yeah, so these are the risky approaches where you have to rely on the Dragons to come in for the Town Hall, and the split isn't necessarily working out in his favor, but he has held on to the Royal Champion. So as long as the defensive structures around the Town Hall do go down, the Royal Champ has some opportunity to come in with the invisibility spell and her Seeking Shield, but we do have some connection with the Super Dragon to go for the Town Hall. Getting knocked out, though, by the scatter shot, so this does thwart it. We have the King and Queen taking care of some of the surround, but again, it's all about that Royal Champ sneaking his way in. This is why this approach is very difficult to come in with, because it does pose an issue of a 1-star start, but he has some power left to try and finish this off, and let's see how he can recover with it. Super Drag coming in for that scatter shot, but it's a Royal Champ actually coming through, so her ability and the invisibility is going to be clutch to come in to save this 2-star.
Yeah, but he waited kind of a long time to deploy the Royal Champ, which means the Town Hall is already with a couple of HP back in business. And with that Royal Champ ability, he needs to take down quite a bit. Otherwise, this attack is falling short. Archer Tower and Testa are falling, but this means X-Bow might still left standing in 1 minute. And yes, wow, that should be it. Because even with the Black Mine, he has the Owl and the Warden and Loons and Minion. So he is getting that done with the save, with the Royal Champ for the Town Hall. And not investing that much. Like, for example, he could have used maybe an invisibility spell to save the last Super Dragon on the Town Hall. Instead, he said, okay, I'm fine, guys. I will just let my heroes clear out the top side and then finish off the base with the Royal Champion. So, nicely done. Repotted on the board as well with the first 3-star. And we have a match on our hands. And now it's up to STRUT to either give Repotted the chance and open the door, or push their lead even further and make sure that they're sticking to this 1-star and, in addition, percentage lead, which they have right now.
Yeah, and Repotted Gaming known for some of their defenses coming in as they held off MS Esports yesterday. This really was a beautiful recovery from Timtastic, and it shows his expertise that, you know, he is a versatile attacker. We've seen him with a lot of creativity when he comes in with his Lalos, but definitely coming in with a strong push, and not necessarily an easy one for those Super Drags. These are the ones that we often talk about are the riskiest approaches, but you can see that the pro players know enough power out of their heroes in order to save the recourse at the end of the day. So, you know, Itsu, what do you think the likelihood is of Repotted Gaming watching STRUT yesterday, finding the right defenses to get back in this? Because they're only down by a star, and I don't think they're too far behind if they could come in with proper defenses.
I mean, overall, I would like to see what this next base looks like from Repotted, because the first base which we have seen was like this diamond-shaped base, which overall is symmetrical. Yesterday, they used only ring bases, so are we a change, are we an adjustment based on how STRUT performed? And this time again, we see again the diamond-shaped base overall, the setup, and we see again from STRUT a Queen Charge coming in. We have now the Queen Charge from Boom, the strategy which he's using as well for trophy pushing at the moment in Legends, where he's really successful with. Like, this guy is crazy. He's getting above 300 on average every single day right now in Legends, which is, I mean, it is just crazy being so consistent. And he says the Flame Flinger is a really big and important thing for that, because he is, like the Flame Flinger, it's kind of like as an additional Queen Charge. It can take down so many buildings. And not even triggered yet. Like, the clan cast is not even getting unleashed, and he's right now taking on the mortar. The next one is the eagle on the menu, and then he's about to get into that multi-inferno tower as well. And we see a defensive Super Dragon right there from Repotted. Maybe they expected something like, I don't know, Suilado. That's where the Super Dragons are really annoying to deal with. but so far this attack looks really good for Boom, funneling in the king into that defending queen compartment and scatter, and then the wall break did not work. The queen was supposed to get deeper into that core. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that queen now going to have to beat through the walls, but this is her favorite pastime, to get through, to get into the core of the base. King is doing some excellent work and also protecting the royal champion here. Ability has already been burned for the king, but the royal champ has a little bit more power left, and we do have an invisibility spell that can carry this through a little bit deeper coming in. We've got the Lalo push coming in straight for the town hall, which means we need to reserve the warden ability coming out and use either the haste or the rage to push things along, hoping that there's no tornado trap to suck them back into that poison bomb. Beautiful rage combination here, and these loons are safe and sound coming through, and the queen has made her way into the core, so this is looking relatively good now.
It's looking really good actually, because take a look, this back end compartment with the multi-inferno, which would be really, really dangerous for those loons, is now taken care of, and the queen can just use her ability in the core. There's a huge pack of loons coming in, and you can see he's already celebrating. He knows that he did it, and that's how you smash those spaces with the Flame Flinger. Just taking down the Eagle without having to invest anything more. Taking down the multi-inferno tower, which is never a nice thing to have against you with a Lalo attack, and really nicely done. And you can see STRUT definitely knows how to attack those diamond-shaped bases, and that's a big problem right now for Repotted, because they already have this 2 stars. So at this point, they have to hope for the defense. At the same time, they kind of have to, as well, deliver on offense, because otherwise this match is getting out of hand really quickly. If you fall behind with like 2 stars or something early on against STRUT, that's not a position you want to be in. So things are looking good for STRUT, and Repotted has to keep their 3-star streak now alive and actually get that to the second 3-star.
Yeah, they definitely do. This is an excellent start for STRUT, flexing their strength right now, but it does not mean that they're infallible. So we could see some defense coming through. Pressure does start building up here, and they need to make sure that they don't get too overconfident. I think that's the biggest problem, is the more that you build up those 3 stars, the easier it is to start thinking you have it safe in your pocket, and you can underestimate the teams that you're going up against. But these two teams know each other quite well from the German communities, also having faced off during the ESL Mobile Open last season. So, you know, they know how to try and defend against each other. But I think the best strategy that we've seen coming in so far from STRUT in the weeks recently is that they have been trying to switch up their gameplay to trip up what some of the teams are expecting to hold off against them, and it seems to be paying in their favor so far. But I can't count out Repotted Gaming. We know they are a scrappy team. They came in fighting hard last year and definitely making a name for themselves, and certainly carrying that legacy this time around. And we do have Mech coming in now with the super drag attack, again coming in with these ring style bases where they have to go right through the core of the base, which makes it a little bit riskier, but they're showing that they know how to make this work and recover if things go wrong.
Yeah, and again, with that slammer, it is so powerful. The siege is giving you so much power in those air attacks. It is risky, as you said, but if it's somewhat close to working, it is just incredible how much power you get with that. And at the moment, he's trying to push those super dragons into the core, because that's where all of the damage is in those ring bases, the expos, because you do want to take care of those expos to make sure that your heroes then can finish off the remaining base. But at the moment, this sweeper located behind the town hall is looking really annoying. He has to freeze it. Beautiful freeze from Mech to make sure that everything is frozen up. Another freeze taking care of that sweeper, expo, and town hall. So really nicely done there. Another Royal Champion is coming in, but there's quite a bit of a back end still left alive with that rage still to deploy, so he can maybe get some more value with that and rage up, I guess, the Royal Champion. But there's now the triple ice golem coming out, ready to bring the ice time to those heroes and make sure to delay this attack as much as possible.
Yeah, that queen getting hung up, the only saving grace for her is there's no surrounding defenses for this, but we lost a lot of those super drugs along the way. It's up to the Royal Champion to take care of the back end, and with the invisibility spell, this is enough to carry through. Defenses are all but down, so it's a matter of cleanup, and Mech yet again shows that there are ways to go through these centralized bases. Drops that swag invisibility spell, and Mech flexing for RPG. They know they're down for the count, but these are the confidence boosters that they need to try and carry it back through and put the pressure on STRUT, showing that they are not going to back down to those bases.
Yeah, and if you guys are still asking for this first attack, keep in mind we missed the first attack, unfortunately, but we're going to have a replay of that after the last few attacks of this one. So we're going to repeat this attack so you can see what exactly happened wrong, because we saw already the result of the 2-star, but we're going to witness that in a replay in just a bit. But before that, we have more live attacks to come. STRUT should strike next, and well, let's see what they can bring to the table. So far, it seems like that kind of STRUT stole the bases of Repotted with those ring bases. On the other side, though, we see now the diamond-shaped bases of the Repotted side and Repotted base builder crew. So let's see if STRUT keep going with their Queen Charge Lalo attacks. They still have Musk left, and Yo-Yo both really like those Queen Charge Lalo attacks. And they have us left. He can do anything, okay? Like, he can do the Skelly Donut Lalo. He can do whatever is needed. So he will come up with something. But yeah, I guess we're going to see at least one more Queen Charge Lalo, because if Repotted really sticks, or like really is having so many diamond-shaped bases, that's going to be a good answer against those, a really good answer to take those down. So let's see what is about to happen from the STRUT side.
I mean, you say we do expect to see the Lalo at some point, but we have seen Yo-Yo mixing things up a bit, coming in even with E-Drags recently. We've seen Mask switching things up. I think he could be the person to come in with the Queen Charge Lalo, but it's Ast that is known for coming in with those super drag attacks, though he does switch it up from time to time as well, a very versatile attacker. So a lot of strength coming in, but they have to play it safe, and I think this is one of the things that, you know, in recent wars that we've seen from STRUT, they like to push the limits of their Queen Charges and those rages, and that's what they have to be very careful about here. So we do have Mask coming in, and you are indeed right. We've got the Lalo. We've got the Zapquake Ice Lalo coming into this one. Wow, we've got the 7-1 combination. Are we coming in here for the scatter shot and queen position to take it down over by the 10 o'clock side of the base? Yes, indeed, we are. Knocks out that queen, drops the quake, and gets that scatter shot down. So it makes a nice position to join coming in with the blimp for the town hall and pick up even more value with the Sui dive coming in.
Yeah, and then we have the Tornado Trap, a lot of ground skeletons, so let's see if that safety blimp is going to work. The Tornado Trap should actually, yeah, going to be not long enough duration-wise, and this town also going to fall from the Sneaky Goblins. Such a strong blimp. So if you guys at home try to copy that blimp, because you do not need any rages for this, you want to have around about 20-ish regular goblins, and then you want to have 2 minion, and then just fill up with Sneaky Goblins. This means that, for example, traps are getting triggered by the goblins. The Tornado Trap can be like, you can just have all of those Sneaky Goblins and all of those regular goblins coming out of the blimp without, yeah, the Tornado Trap doing anything to your Sneaky Goblins, because they are going to be delayed. So that's kind of like a safety blimp, if you want to call it like that. And now we have that queen approaching that bottom side. 2 ground expos. The first ground expo is locking onto that queen already. And he has 6 regular wall breakers as well. There's the freeze, making sure the queen is staying alive. The regular wall breakers are coming in. But the king, for now, is not walking inside.
No, King not walking inside, but he does have the connection to go into that multi if he can push it along. Nothing yet to funnel it, and he's still got to burn through that ability. Queen's on the lineup, but might make her way down to the multi rather than going to the eagle. She's already burned through her ability, so not going to get much more power out of this in the core of the base, which means this Lalo's got a deep push coming in, but there are no multis to worry about. The biggest issue is going to be potential traps along the way as they work through the core. So this is where we want to see how the Warden ability is going to be used. Oh, that is a beautiful Ice Golem freeze up over that radius coming in. And this is exactly what we hope for, is covering up heroes and typically the air defenses or scatter shots coming in the way.
Yeah, the nice freeze, making sure this air defense and single Inferno Tower is not getting any more value. And with this Loon split now, it's all about this back-end single multi-Inferno Tower, which is kind of annoying for Loons, especially with the Warden now going down. This means those Loons are kind of, yeah, not with that many hit points. And you can see the Loons are dropping like flies, and that's not the highest percentage in general. That's the defense that Repotted was looking for. The Sui Lalo, the Lightning Lalo, did not work out as intended, and he's now trying to get as many percentages as possible. 92 and percentage are climbing higher and higher. I think they're going to have the percentage lead overall, but still, it is going to be a way closer party in general. And with this 93 2-star, and you can see it, they are up on percentage, so Repotted would need another defense. Even if STRUT is still going perfect, they can still win this match. But we can see both sides can fail. Both sides have really good bases, and that's just showcased in this one attack.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately with that multi not going down to the king was the biggest kiss of death there, unfortunately. Those singles in the core of the base were easy to get through, but to have the multi on the back end definitely hurting this one. So we'll see what they can do to come in, but holding a small advance lead. And this is why you cannot underestimate what you have coming in with Repotted Gaming. And it's also those small details that go through, you know, not getting the proper funnel to come in makes a difference.
Yeah, and so far Repotted really say, okay, guys, Super Dragon is the answer to most of those STRUT bases, and they're coming in again. This time the STRUT guys are using something like the box base, so let's see how that works. And we have the funnel so far, and now we have the Super Dragons from the complete other side of the Town Hall. Is he going to get that Town Hall with a blimp? Is he going to play it from the long side, or is he going to play it on the short side? We're going to see in just a second, and it's coming in on top of that Eagle. What is in there? Are there cloned Yetis or whatever is going to be in there? Is it even cloned Super Minions? But there's not many invisibility spells. The sweepers are being annoying, and there we go. It is just cloned Loons, it seems to be.
Yeah, we've got the clone Loons trying to sweep open the core of the base here. We've got easy access to that Town Hall as well, but we still need to work our way through. Super Drags spread out pretty nicely here, and it's the heroes that are going to have to work their way through to the back end to get to this. This is a risky approach. Again, we see various different ways of coming in with these Super Drag attacks, and when you leave the Town Hall to the back end, you leave a lot of mercy on the line for the heroes to survive. So far, the Queen having to contend with the Hound, but we've got the King bursting his way through, and we've got the Royal Champ ability to come in. She's still nice and fresh, waiting to come along. This invisibility spell and freeze could be critical, but he opts to bring in the Royal Champ from the opposite side, who now has to contend with the Skellies, which is going to hold her off considerably. Queen still has enough power to get in and ensure that this does spare at least a 2-star, but we'll see if it's going to be enough to finish off at the end of the day, considering he still has some spell composition left.
Yeah, the freeze was really nice. Not only protecting the Queen, but as well protecting that Royal Champion as well. With that invisibility spell, he should be fine because time is on his side. 50 seconds. Those Super Dragons are insanely quick when it comes down to clearing up on the back end. Like overall, like getting this entry burst out. And that's exactly what we can see on this one. The Queen surviving, the Royal Champ surviving, making sure that that's going to be a 3-star. And Repotted keep going with their Super Dragon attacks, say, okay, that is the weakness to those STRUT bases. And so far, they were right. Depending on whatever was their first attack, the 2-star attack, which we are going to watch later on again because we have missed that on the stream. But still, I cannot wait to see what that strategy was. If they are so far going 4 times with Super Dragons and just say, okay, that's the weakness, that's the one strategy we're going for. Or maybe just say, okay, we're kind of we know STRUT knows us. We know they might be able to bait us, so let's go with something which we have not done so far. Typically, we see a lot of Lalo of Repotted. This time, it's Super Dragon time, and they're quite successful so far.
I think this is a strategy that we love so much between these teams, especially the ones that know each other so well, because they can switch up what they're doing. We talk about the dark horses like Perumania, which makes it a little bit more difficult to try and contend with. But when you know your opponent and you can switch around the strategies that you're going with and also the defenses, you can have a lot of fun with it. And it makes it a lot more exciting to watch how these teams try to overcome each other. But this does put STRUT in a tough position to try and pick up that 3-star, because any slip up now does set them back. And that's not what they want to see, because this is an elimination round. There is no chance of getting back. The team that does win will advance on to face off against X team, who has a final shot to try and get their way back in to face off against Perumania later today. So pressure is on Ast, and you were right. We are seeing more of the Lalo coming in. We'll see if that's going to be predictable, but coming in with the Flame Flinger, Ice Lalo, and King starting off the pathing with the Baby Drag to set up the funnel, push everything along, has the Skelly spells down, but we have yet to see where we're going to place this Flame Flinger. There's no Quake here for the Town Hall, so I'm not necessarily convinced that it's going to be coming in from the side, especially because we have the surrounding mortars.
Yeah, he's going to switch away from that actually, because if you're already like 1 minute into the attack or something like that, you do not want to use the Flame Flinger anymore. It's kind of like not really that worth it. But let's see if he's going to get the multi-inferno tower with the Royal Champ, which is not looking like that. The Royal Champ dodging that multi-inferno tower, and this means he needs to be kind of careful. He tries to get the scatter as well, which he's going to get. But that Lava Hound right on top of that Queen is denying any more value. So now the question is, what is going to be the next step? There's the Slammer coming in from this bottom side, slowly pushing into the Town Hall. But there is this Sweeper pointing into that direction without, you guys know it, Siege Machines are not getting affected by spells, which means this Slammer right there is going to have quite a big of a problem. And the Town Hall is not activated yet, so he needs to get to 50% quickly, or he needs to use the Skeleton spell.
Yeah, he's going to have to get this going. Now, we do have the Tesla actually that can drop off and give what he needs to open it up. And there we go. We've got the Town Hall activated, perfectly timed, freezes it up, rages, and pops the Warden ability to carry everything through past that rage. No Tornado Trap to hold them off. This is a beautiful approach, especially with that Stone Slammer taking the lead over the Scatter Shot. But it's the Ice Hound taking the focus and holding off that beautiful surround of the Air Defense, the Expo, and the Warden Tower. This still has a lot of power left to it and some time to go.
Yeah, now the Slammer is actually opening, but there's a double multi-inferno tower. We have seen how much damage the multi-inferno tower can do early on, and again, somehow that Warden died. Now the question is, can those loons in the haste take down the multi-inferno tower? That's the question. They're getting hasted in, and are there any more red mines? No, they are not. The multi is dropping. You can see his face. He's at least a little bit happy right there. But still, we have... Oh, is he actually happy? We have a lot of air skeletons and pups taking those loons out. And now it's a question of time. And if I take a look at the face cam, I don't think he's believing into his troops. This might be a time fail overall from us. And this is another defense for Repotted.
Yeah, 10 seconds left, and the miners and pups working as fast, minions and pups working as fast as they can, but not enough of a spread. The percent is going to be high, but they needed the 3-star to get back in this, and now this sets them 1 star behind Repotted Gaming. You can see the defeat on his face, knowing that they need one more defense to get back into this, and that's not going to be an easy task. This means Repotted Gaming have the excitement built up and ready to go with their final attack. The 3-star comes in, and STRUT is out of it.
Yeah, just this double multi-inferno tower setup on the back end of this base. I really think he wanted to take down this multi-inferno tower with his Royal Champion on the back end, just behind that Eagle. It did not happen. The Royal Champ dodged that, and with that, multi-inferno tower left staying up. And again, I don't know, like for the STRUT guys, always their Warden is dying before the loons. I don't know how that happens every single time, but that means that those loons are missing so many hit points because the Warden aura. And now we can see the first Lalo attack from Repotted. And this is going to be another ring base. So the question is, how much value can he get with those heroes? The heroes are going to be key to the success of this attack. Are they going to get a lot? Are they going to fall short with some traps? What is about to happen? We can see the queen going the right way. Yes, she is. She's joining the king, joining up, and going to get pushed further into this base. But the queen, the defending queen, is on her, and this means the ability is gone.
And this is very similar to the attack that we saw yesterday with a beautiful push coming into the ring-style base, using that queen to carry her way along. King barreling his way through, trying to set the pace, but the queen is struggling to actually survive getting into the core. But we do have the blimp to actually get in there, take down the town hall, as everything that surrounds clears it up. Ice Golem prematurely freezing up and not actually offering any big opportunity here. So this could be what Ast is hoping for, but Giannis is a seasoned veteran and knows how to adjust on the fly. Royal Champ, unfortunately, not being able to get any more value from this, but we do pull that Hound to the corner with the Wizard, will pop it open, and needs to get this Lalo going. Interesting, because he comes in with the change to the Stone Slammer to provide that extra tank to go for the Town Hall, but he needs this activated to actually carry it through, and it's going to open up quite early.
It's opening up. It's not going to get anything. The pups are there. The Dragon Rider is getting taken down. And oh my goodness, this is not looking good for Giannis at all. He still needs to take down the town. The heroes did not take what he wanted to get, especially that unicorn dying early on for that queen is a big problem. That could be the defense that STRUT is looking for. Everything is dodging that town hall. There's so many pups. Oh my goodness, this could be a 1-star, and that would turn everything around. The town hall, you can see he is not happy with this attack, and all of the loons dodge that town hall. With this attack, with this base will be everywhere, guys. Copy it, because you will face it 1 million times today. This base holding STRUT, not only in this match, but most likely in this tournament, and is going to kick Repotted out. What a defense! This hero dive did not get anything. The Gen Trap was perfect to take down the Slammer. And the Town Hall in the middle left staying and is even getting repaired up from those builders. Us, maybe not did on offense, but us on defense with their base building crew behind, doing an amazing job of holding back with this Suilalo attack.
If they ever needed a defense like this, this is when they needed it. Right in the last final attack to come in, which means they just need the safe 2-star to come along. Unfortunate for Giannis, and you can see how disappointed he is, knowing that they had the lead coming into this. They had the opportunity to turn this around, and a 1-star makes it insurmountable. Just a safe 2 coming in from STRUT makes it easier. So, I mean, this is where you hope that your teammates come in with the safety net and don't go for anything too risky.
Yeah, I mean, it is, maybe they just use now Super Dragons as well, because, I mean, Repotted so far used only Super Dragons. We have not seen the first attack, so we don't know what happened there. But they used Super Dragons 3 times, had 3 times those 3-stars, and then they tried the Lalo, and it did backfire completely. So now Yo-Yo, he could just use Super Dragons. I mean, 2-star with Super Dragons is nothing too crazy, to be honest. So, yeah, just go for the safety. It's not a... might be not the most beautiful attack, but at the end of the day, it's not about trying to have the most creative, most fancy attacks out there. It's all about making sure that you're getting it in. And actually, he's coming in with the Yeti Super Wizard Smash with the bats. Okay, this does not look that safe to me, but I guess he's going to put the blimp in for that Town Hall with those loons. It should be for sure the safe thing that this Town Hall is going to fall, and he can give his Warden all time of the world, because even if it's time felling, just 2-star, decent percentage, and they are fine.
Yeah, 2 stars all they need to win this war. Percent in their favor for this. But I know that they want to finish off with a 3-star, try and get a nice lead ahead. And we'll see if that's exactly what they can do. Makes a safe approach by taking on the Town Hall. Initially, we've got the King to round the corner, take care of the cleanup, and the Warden all working together to take care of the base. Now that the Poison Bomb's eliminated, it's really just a matter of focusing that Warden ability clipping through into the core, where we have a lot of the damage damage, the potential traps, but also those scatter shots sweeping away coming in. So just wait for the timing of this to carry through, which is also going to help push those loons along and soak up any potential traps along the way.
Yeah, and what a beautiful entry. Taking down the Town Hall early with the blimp, making sure the Town Hall Poison is running out, and with that, having this really nice jump, opening everything. You can reach everything now with this jump, making sure that you have access to the scatter shots, which are both taken down, that you have access to the multi-inferno towers, and at this point, it's only the 2 wizard towers which are left alive on the both flanks of the multi-inferno towers, and he has still the bats, guys. He has still the bats left to deploy. Both multi-inferno towers are down. He's going to even get another wizard tower at the top side. Is it going to be every single splash damage in this base taken out before the bats are even deployed? It seems like it. The wizard tower at the top side going down, wizard tower at the bottom side is about to go down, and he has 3 more freezes. Yo-Yo coming in with the strategy which we have not seen in this weekend just yet with the Yeti P.E.K.K.A smash. Oh, wait a second, there was another wizard tower left on the 9 o'clock side, but that's just getting frozen up. No problem whatsoever, and this means it's 3 stars for STRUT, and this is the round win for them, and they're going to face X Team.
And these bats coming in with the cleanup. Nice and easy. Royal Champ still going strong and has the swag freeze unneeded. Look at him just sighing a breath of relief here. He is excited knowing that after a pretty big opportunity to lose out in this matchup, the defense saved them, and this 3-star comes in and brings them along into victory to face off into the next match against X Team. This gives them 1 more life to move ahead closer to that opportunity for the golden ticket, but it's still a long way to go. STRUT coming in with that win, and Itsu, this is absolutely huge. Let's take a look at some of these post stats that we have coming through. 12 to 10, 12 to 13 it should
13.
be. Yeah, reading up on this one. So that 1-star lead for them with the 97.8%. This is a much lower scoring war than we typically see from STRUT. So kudos to Repotted Gaming for that defense, which is actually what you predicted.
Yeah, just this 1-1-star, so unfortunate, but that's the annoying thing with those ring bases, right? Something small is going wrong, and this is going to have like a huge effect then of the other parts of your attack, because in other bases, well, you might not got all of the value you wanted, but it does not affect the remaining attack maybe that much, because maybe just the pathing is created. But in ring bases, it is so unforgiving having an entry which is not getting the value you need, and that was a really unfortunate thing. I think we should have an interview first in a little bit, but overall, it was exactly the match which we were looking for, because we have mentioned it's going to be the match of defenses. We have seen both teams were building their own legend bases, were building and coming up with their own style of bases, with the other teams using different styles. And we can see that in the defensive. 1-star, a lot of 2-stars as well, and then obviously 3-stars. So a huge mix, and I think overall a really interesting match.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk to the guys and hear what they have to say. So let's see, we've got Boom, the team captain here, to give us a little bit more insight. How are you doing today, Boom?
Hello, Lady V. Excited that I'm actually here right now in this interview, in the winner interview. I'm so relieved and so happy that we made it to the next stage.
Yeah, very impressive performance. That 1-star really helped carry you through. And one of my biggest questions is, how did you guys go about preparing against Repotted Gaming? What was your biggest, what was the biggest task, knowing that they could ultimately do you in this war?
I mean, we kind of tried, obviously, to scout their attacks, which they had in the recent streams. We couldn't find too many of them. The reason why we took now anti-2s against them, even though they actually used like themselves yesterday, is because we judged that they are not playing Legend League so often that they might struggle against our type of anti-ring bases, and at the end it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. So very smart moves coming in from you. And when it comes from an offensive perspective, not only with Repotted Gaming, but you might eventually face off against Perumania if you're able to take down X Team. Looking at these two teams, what are the biggest worries that you have coming into it?
Like we have seen, I think, throughout the Swiss stage, but also here in the playoffs, that the defense stats, like stats-wise, Perumania and X Team is like one of the top teams. That might also give us some trouble, even though they are using some kind of legend type of bases, which we are used to attack against it. But we are still worried that they might have maybe trapped here and there very nicely against our potential attacks.
So does this mean that you guys, when you're planning, with only 8 minutes to go, are you looking over every single detail and making additional adjustments, knowing that you might have to watch out for some of that baiting? Does that mess with your head a little bit?
It is not messing up with my head, but we are indeed very 100% focused into all the possible Tesla farm popping up, like some skelly traps. So we try to also have like a second eye on the base, like asking a second person whether my plan would work or whether maybe this might be trapped or not.
Yeah. And any final words to the Repotted team after that exceptional war? I know you guys have played against each other in many different tournaments, including an ESL Mobile Open last year. But any words for them through this final phase as they end their journey today?
Ja, Repotted Gaming, very quickly auf German. Ihr habt trotzdem einen sehr, sehr guten Krieg uns abgeliefert. Wir haben bis zum Ende gezittert und wir sehen uns auf jeden Fall das nächste Mal wieder. Very quickly in German because they are a German clan.
Well, I know you guys have the most amount of respect for them. They are one of the youngest teams to come through, and we have seen exceptional performance from them. So from my end as well, huge kudos to them for their performance and for keeping their heads high through this and the exceptional power that they had coming into this. But a very big congratulations to you guys here at STRUT, and we're looking forward to seeing you face off against X Team in the next round, and looking to see who's going to advance on to face off against Perumania. So best of luck to you guys. Congratulations, and we will let you prepare and catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much, Lady B.
So why don't we head back and talk to Itsu a little bit more, because we had some beautiful attacks, but there was one that we actually missed, I believe, and that might be one that I believe you want to showcase and take a look at, perhaps?
Yeah, we'll take a look at that in just a second. Before that, let's take a look at the bracket, because that was something which Boom was referring to with the future matchups. And we actually have now STRUT moving on, having to face X Team right away. This is why we have like this bit longer break in between of the matches, because obviously the players have to get into the next match, have to get their plans ready. Because one thing I really want to highlight is those are not your typical matches, not your typical clan wars. They are not 24 hours prep, 24 hours then match day. No, they are instead 5-minute prep, and then you have around about 8 minutes of planning to take a look at the other bases, come up with the plan, who's taking first, who's taking last, what are the bases we are taking a look at the first, and so on. So it's obviously huge chaos going on and a lot of planning invested. And, well, that's what we have to give those teams. That's why we are kind of discussing this bracket first. And the interview as well, kind of crazy that Boom is having to multitask as well, because he's playing in that next match as well. So it's not going to be easy for them. But I think they showed that not only their defensive side, but as well their offense looked really good in this match so far. And I think it's really promising for the remaining matches of the day.
It certainly does, but they are going to have to worry about what they're going to face off against between X Team and potentially Perumania, but it's one step at a time as they go in. Curious from your perspective, what was your favorite attack of this war so far?
To me, I think one of the Queen Judge Lalo attacks, I think the Lalo attack from Boom, because that was the attack which we fully saw. I just think it's just showcasing how strong the Flame Flinger can be if used in the right hands, because I think a lot of people are still like a lot of people are using it at this point. Like people are getting used to and seeing more potential. But I still think that it's only in the beginning. Like it's only the beginning for the siege. I still think that people can use it way more, and it's just incredible, powerful overall. And we have seen Boom showcase that really nicely in his attack, and he's doing that as well in his legend attacks. That's why he's so far up in legends as well in the ranking. And I think that's the siege which we're going to see many more times over not only today but future matches. But I think while the time is ticking down, we should take a look now at the replay. The first attack of Repotted, which we have unfortunately missed in the beginning. So let's take a look at that. And we have another ranking base, another time of Super Dragons. Overall, we have Repotted Gaming coming in 4 times with those Super Dragons. 3 of the Super Dragons attacks were successful, were 3 stars. So now let's see what the only defense was for those Super Dragon attacks. And we have Baby Dragon funneling nicely. We have a lightning used for the sweeper to make sure that those Super Dragons can come in nice and easy from this top left side. But as well, one thing which you can see for a lot of those bases is that the spread out of the defenses, which means you're trying to have at least 1 tile in between of important defenses. So for example, you can see the scatter is having 1 tile where the wall is in between of the elixir storage and the scatter to make sure that there is no possibility for the Super Dragons to really get their splash out, the splash damage. They're already doing enough damage as a single target troop. But I mean, they can even do splash damage. I feel like that's something which people sometimes even forget. So really, really crazy potential-wise, but as well we can see those single Fern Towers. Those single Fern Towers are really a big problem for Super Dragons, and the Queen surviving is another big problem right there. And now we have those heroes, which means actually it's only the Queen at this point, Royal Champ not deployed yet, having to somehow face the remaining few defenses with the Scatter alive, with the Expo, and this single Fern Tower, which I just mentioned. At this point we can see there's just so much left in yeah, this defense. He's delaying his Royal Champion incredible long, does not try to like tank for the Queen or something to make sure the Unicorn is getting more again, or maybe even, was this a disconnect or so? No, now the Royal Champ. I'm still surprised that he not used the Royal Champ maybe to tank for the Queen so the Unicorn can heal her up again, like tanking the Expo especially, which was the deciding factor. So at the end, maybe like a small mistake even, but either way, it's the defense for Boom as well, us later than in this match with the 1-star defense, deciding this matchup. And I cannot wait to see if STRUT is going to change their bases again, if they have new bases. I mean, it's not easy to have all of those bases ready, and now take a look at that. Even the Ice Golems are still coming out, and it was so close. It was so close to still be a 3-star, but it's going to be a 90% 2-star at the end of the day. So overall, solid defense right there. And yeah, I mean, the defense of STRUT, it's impressive. It's not nice and easy to attack those legend bases. And doing that in the pro match where you have only this limited time of planning, it does not make things easier.
It doesn't. And I think the biggest challenge that any of these teams coming in from the start of the war, including Repotted Gaming, is they have to burn through so many bases, where Perumania and X Team have the easier push coming in because they were seeded 1st and 2nd, so didn't have to go through as many wars. So they have a lot of fresh bases coming in, and that means on the building side, there was a lot more work to be done and a lot more factors to have to worry about. So for STRUT, we'll see how they can hold up against X Team coming into this next match. But what I'm excited to see is what we saw yesterday. We know XBB likes to think outside of the box. He does not go the standard route. We saw him come in with the Valks. And are we going to see it today? It did not work in his favor yesterday, and unfortunately caused a 1-star start. So we'll see if he switches up his approach, or if he's going to change things around completely, and or maybe just make it work, get the 3-star coming in. But we see the lineup for X Team. We've got Den, who was the MVP, Hamura, Jaga, Melly, and XBB, the Valk attacker.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because XBB actually tagged STRUT and Repotted on Twitter and said that, well, please, they don't bait him. That would be kind of nice. That's what he said, because otherwise there won't be wouldn't be the dance, right? Because if he 3-stars, he's doing his dance. So if people want to see the dance, well, please don't bait him. So I think it's a funny thing. player coming to Twitter as well, and like, having some fun interactions over there as well. But take a look at those stats. Overall, X Team was the team which finished the Swiss stage with 3-0, but the stats are showing a different picture. We can see the average stars. It's for STRUT. Even more than 1 star on average, they're getting more in offense, and the average destruction as well is quite high. Let's put it like that, and we can see then with the perfect score so far, and us with one little small mistake, but still both teams are looking stacked. Both teams are looking ready for today, and the big advantage which X Team has overall is they had to play so far only 1 match, which means a lot of their bases are not burnt yet. STRUT, it's different. They have to decide, do they go with different bases? Do they go with the same bases, which maybe have defended so far? Who knows? And that's always a decision that the teams have to make, and it's not easy at all.
Yeah, and you know, we see that 3-0 and 3-1 status from the Swiss bracket. That one loss that came in for STRUT happened to be from Perumania, who they're looking to seek vengeance against, but they need to get past X Team first. The stats do show that STRUT is the favorite coming into this overall with their average attack star and damage, but that does not mean that they're going to have an easy road coming into this, because X Team has been watching them and might have some tricks up their sleeves. When you've got $50,000 prize pool on the line, there's a lot that you have in consideration, and I think now, since we have our final 3 teams, we know which ones are getting that share of the $50,000 prize pool, but it is yet to be determined who's going to get it in which order. Of course, 3rd place will walk away with the $5,000, 2nd place with $15,000, and it's the 1st place winner that not only walks away with $30,000, but that coveted golden ticket and the entry into the World Championships. This will be the first one of the season, and with that, it does kind of put some pressure on STRUT, as they are 2 years consecutive winning the first gold pass of the season getting into Worlds. So we'll see if it's going to be either X Team or Perumania's time to shine and knock them out of this. But here we go. This is exactly what we were expecting to see from XBB. We've got 13 Valks in the mix, and hold up! 24 sneaky goblins. Are we in a Carbon Creative Master Series right now?
That's a good question. At least we have an army of skeletons approaching this warden. With that owl, it should be doable, but it will take a couple of seconds until those skeletons are getting taken down. And let's see if STRUT baited this entry. Otherwise, I think he will be kinda angry on Twitter about them. But let's see. So far, not too many traps in front of the town hall. There's not the sneaky goblins coming in. Invisibility spell in just a second. Turn them invisible. And this means the town hall, the most important defense in the base, taken down by farm troops. So easy it can be, right? So really nicely done. Beginning-wise, it's 50 seconds gone from the attack. So the question now is, where is he sending those Valkyries in? What exactly is the follow-up plan? And he is, at the moment, the Flame Flinger selected, which I'm not sure about if he's not going to switch, because I feel the Flame Flinger at this point is going to be kind of late. There's the Queen coming in, so we have the Queen charging in, and actually the goal is to get into the Town Hall. We have now the Siege Barracks getting pushed in as well, and with that, the Valkyries are about to get unleashed.
Yeah, and this is a smart move because it's giving him extra troop space to come into the mix, which definitely is a nice thing to have. Be interested to see if we have more Valks coming out or Hogs from the Siege Barracks to help on the back end once it opens up. But the Valks already working their way through. The biggest struggle with using Valks is the timing of them. They run super fast and don't necessarily pair up with the speed of your heroes, so you tend to have to delay them slightly. So far, working along nicely with the King, getting the protection, and the Warden ability does carry them through the core of the base. And we've got a beautiful surround here from the Queen working along with those Valks. This is looking absolutely solid. I don't think that STRUT baited them at all in this one.
And what does this mean? Correct, we're going to see the dance, I think, from him in just a second. And he's getting ready for that. What an attack. And there we go. We see the dance. and making sure that the celebration is right. What an attack, ladies and gentlemen. Having even more Valkyries in his siege barracks overall. It is, I think, 18 Valkyries if I count this right. 18 Valkyries. I don't think we have seen that so far in the pro match. So, X Team is on board. X Team is ready, and they're here to play and make the life of STRUT not too easy, and they want to challenge them.
Oh, they're making a fan of me as well. And I feel like they need to get an extra star on swag points, not only for the beautiful execution, but for the dance to follow. That is definitely, that's got to be gift. That's got to be put out there for all to witness. But you definitely have to give it to XBB. This is an attack strategy that he often comes in with. I almost never see him coming in with anything else. And while it doesn't always work out in favor, when it does, like we saw, it is absolutely stunning. Now, what are your thoughts? Because Itsu, I know you often say there are no places for Valks in the mix, but XBB seems to have found that small little niche in there to make it work.
I mean, it's always the question how you consider success. I mean, if you would compare this attack then and just replace the Valkyries with like something like Yetis, or even better probably like Super Bowlers or P.E.K.K.A and Super Wizards, we can see maybe a different hit rate. But I think it's so cool that some of the pros are using then their favorite troops in their attack strategies. I think that's what we have seen in the attack of XBB, and we can now see STRUT again. Boom is coming in with the Skelly Donut, the strategy which he did not want to do again. But here we are, and so far it looks good. If the clan cast is going out, yes it is.
Yes.
And this means all of the value he needs is secure, and now those heroes are about to get pushed into the multi and into the eagle compartment.
Yeah, so Scatter and CC down. We've got an easy adjoinment coming into this, and Queen working her way towards that multi-targeting Inferno. King getting a lot of power out of the Ice Golem, which is going to help Royal Champ actually sneak her way deeper inside the base. If she can get in with that invisibility spell to take on the scatter shot, that would be huge. But the Queen is not necessarily forcing long enough. She needs to take down that bomb tower in order to push the Royal Champ back through into the center of the base. Royal Champ still hanging on, but slightly off course. So that is something we are going to have to keep in mind towards the back end, is the scatter. Oh, yeah, Royal Champ still might get it though.
Oh, what? That Royal Champion value is incredible. Invisibility spell to save that Royal Champion's life, to take down the second scatter, and there's now the freeze. But he needs to be careful. More loons are reinforcing that top side, but let it be, wait a second. He has not even deployed yet the Slammer. What is going on? He's waiting for the Towner bomb to go off, the Towner poison. There's the warden ability. Now the question is, where is that Slammer coming in? Because those loons are not having the greatest day of their life, and there we go. There's the Slammer. Headhunters are in as well. Any second, I guess, to make sure that this Queen is falling. And this means it's looking really good with those Headhunters now coming in.
Yeah, that was beautiful distraction coming through, and we have the Inferno Drag coming out to help take down the Queen along with those Headhunters. Loons have thinned out considerably, but he does reserve a few on the back end along with the Baby Drag to take on the outlying defenses, and this is enough to carry through for the 3-star. Boom coming in and matching up head-to-head what X-Team came through. They gave them that easy triple. They didn't bait them in the start with a beautiful execution of the Valks, but Boom certainly making sure that they can keep this toe-to-toe. But let's see what else we have coming in store with defenses, because I'm not counting X-Team out of this one. I do expect, with the start that we saw coming in from XBB, that we are likely to see a different kind of gameplay from them today.
Yeah, but I mean, there was no dance off Boom, right? So I think that should be one bonus star for XBB overall, like with that dance and the Valkyries. But I mean, you're right. Overall, we should get now the next base, or we should take a look at the next base of STRUT in just a second. X-Team is next. Yesterday, they really liked to have those Flame Flinger entries for the town hall. They used it quite a bit. They really tried to pressure that and always push it through. Really looking forward to see if that's going to change today, because in that base, which we have just seen from, I think it was Boom on defense as well, where XBB attacked, all of those Tesla were around the Town Hall to protect those Flame Flinger entries. So I'm really looking forward to see if they're sticking to that, and even if it's baited, they'll just keep running into it as they did yesterday, because they yesterday really only went into the Flame Flinger Town Hall option. Or are they going to change that today? Maybe they just, I don't know, were playing yesterday. Who knows? That's something I want to take a look at for the future attacks of X Team. And as well see if STRUT baited that, because that's something which I really expect, that we're going to see a lot of tests around the Town Hall. So, we have the Flame Flinger. Is he going to send it for the Town Hall? No, they don't. Instead, it's going to be sent in for this air defense, for the arch towers at the bottom side. And maybe it's even pushing forward into that scatter shot. That would be great. But then we have Super Dragons again. And take a look at that. On the left side, you can see it. There are the Tesla again, which I was talking about. Try to protect the Town Hall from the Flame Flinger, because Flame Flinger was the one siege which X Team used so much yesterday.
And not falling for it, finding the most opportune spot to open this up. But we do see the Flame Flinger starting to line its adjustment exactly where he wants it to go, as you mentioned, for the scatter shot. So we need a way to come into the Town Hall. We're often seeing these dragons starting to work their way through. But this could be a different approach about how we go about it, because we often are seeing heroes delayed coming in for the Town Hall position as well. But this is a lot of patience as he starts it off. And while Super Drag attacks are relatively fast, it does give him the opportunity to ensure that he gets the shape up and funnel that he wants out of this. But I do think it would be a risky approach coming head in for the Town Hall first, and I suspect the heroes will be slightly delayed, at least the King, to try and wrap his way around the corner for that Town Hall. And that is exactly where we are going. Queen starting this off, King will be slightly delayed coming down to have the power coming through, and that Royal Champ likely spared to be the final saving grace for it.
Yeah, and especially the way how he kept the Flame Flinger alive against this mortar, using Barbarians and Archers to distract the mortar to make sure the Flame Flinger is having a little bit more hit points, because this Flame Flinger has to survive for quite some time, because it is the troops on the Flame Flinger who have to take down the Town Hall. The Town Hall is on the complete other side of the base. There's no wall breakers to get the King or the Queen into that Town Hall compartment. And I don't know, X Team yesterday started into the match with a 1-star. They do not want to have another 1-star today in their match versus STRUT, because we have seen that today earlier. 1-stars are devastating in the current meta, and it's really hard to come back from them. And now with that King around the top side, the Queen following as well. But again, there is no access for those heroes into the Town Hall. The Town Hall, he has 1 rage and 2 more freezes to take it down. And we have a lot of Super Dragons left, but it's really depending on how quickly those Dragons are going to target that Town Hall.
Yeah, and these freezes and the rage trying to get the dragons inside. Queen still has her ability, drops the final rage here to give the Super Dragons what they need to take down the Town Hall. Riskiest approach to come in to leave that to the final edge, but he's got so much that he can even swag the Queen ability, and you can see him dancing in the background, knowing that he's got that 3-star, keeping themselves potentially on the up and up against STRUT. They're still looking to see if they can hold a defense, but so far, certainly holding their own against the STRUT defenses that were able to take down Repotted Gaming in the previous matchup.
Yep, that's right. And I mean, so far, it's like this big question. STRUT is expecting them to use the Flame Flinger for the Town Hall and bait that. You cannot bait every single corner of your base. That's not how it works. And this time, they're just, instead of always going for the Town Hall, they're picking a different side for their Flame Flinger. And then in addition to that, I loved, and I really want to highlight, how he used the Barbarians and Archers to tank the mortar shots, because the mortar is one of the only defenses with the Exploit together which can actually outrange the Flame Flinger. So the Flame Flinger has not a lot of hit points. That's the important thing. And even though the mortar is not the craziest DPS defense out there, it still does quite a bit of damage onto that Flame Flinger. So being able to distract those shots and make sure the Flame Flinger is surviving a little bit longer is a really important thing, and was really nicely highlighted into that attack. And I mean, now it's the other side again. Now we have STRUT again attacking next. After Boom's beautiful Skelly Donut Lalo, we now have another man approaching. We have Musk in there with a Queen Charge Lalo with 4 regular Wall Breakers and a couple of Sneaky Goblins. So let's see what exactly the plan is going to be for that one.
Yeah, so the Queen's starting to shape up the path surrounding this town hall here, making her approach, but she can leave this open for the Sneaky Gobs to actually take this down by eliminating some of the surrounding structures, the storages that would be in their way. He's got the invisibility spell as well to hold it off, and this maximizes the value that you can get out of the Queen, but he's got to get these rages down. This is something I talk about, how long these guys wait before dropping the rage, and this could wind up causing a force of the ability, and that's not what you want because you need it coming through as you get deeper inside into the heavy hitting defenses, particularly with the defending Queen and the scatter shot here.
Yeah, there's the freeze, making sure not only the healers, but as well the Queen survives. Now the Queen has to take down the air defense guys nice and quickly, and there we go. Town Hall, Queen is staying alive, and only one healer so far is lost. Next rage, but now the Clan Castle is coming out, and another healer is going down against the Black time this time around, though. So only 3 healers are left for this charge.
Yep, and we've got the Sneaky Gobs coming in for the Town Hall down at the bottom side of the base, sends in the tester to make sure there are no traps along the way. Just needs to make sure they stay right on course there and no potential traps. Drops the invisibility spell to ensure that they get it taken down as the King works through towards that Eagle, but it's not enough power to actually take down the Eagle compartment, and Queen is landlocked here, trying to force her way through, picking up more value. Oof.
Oh, the Eagle shots, the Queen ability, is she surviving? Yes, she is. He used the Queen ability on its own and did not waste the auto ability, otherwise this Queen would have been dead. So really nicely done, seeing that timing over there. But wait a second, there's a lot of loons now in the core, where typically those red mines are lying and waiting for some loons to come by. The scatter shot non-stop shooting at those loons. There's now a couple of those red bombs, and they can really be a big problem. The tornado trap into even more red bombs. Now the question is this Eagle too far back, because this defending Royal Champion is surviving as well?
Yeah, and launches that Royal Jam Seeking Shield, trying to get through the single, but the Skellies crop up, holds off the Eagle with the freeze, but this knocks out the Royal Champion. The Warden, the Queen, doesn't have her ability, so there is nothing left to actually bring this to the 3-star as the Eagle and the single drop their final blows and knock out this Queen. Mass coming in with the 2-star now gives X Team the lead over top. But where are we going to see Percentage lie with only 7 seconds left? He is not going to be able to necessarily make it into that 90% range that he wants to be in. This is going to be a lower scoring performance than STRUT was hoping for, unless they can find some big defenses coming in. And today it seems X Team has thought every which direction on how to rethink on the way STRUT would go about and try and bait them so far.
Yeah, just too many black mines on the way, and obviously the air defense itself for that Queen. So unfortunately, it was falling short in the end. And I'm not really sure with that Lalo. I feel like the Lalo part was really, really big. I mean, there was not too many defenses taken down, and especially with not taking down the core in the base at the moment, that's always quite risky, especially in those box bases, because that's where the red mines are in most cases. And playing a Lalo into a lot of red mines is either you delay the Warden ability until forever, because it takes some time until to get to the core, otherwise the options are not that great either. And we now have the next attack. We have the next Inferno Dragon attack, actually. This time around, no Super Dragons, and we have a blimp this time for the Town Hall. And again, we can see those Tesla to protect the Town Hall. That's something which all of those STRUT bases at the moment have in common, because they try to defend the Flamefinger.
Yeah, but Mortar not giving any opportunity to knock out those Sneaky Gobs, gets the Town Hall taken down nice and fast. And this is actually... this tends to be a pretty quick approach coming in. We see it often coming in with about a minute to spare, but very similar to the drag style attacks in general. You want your heroes surviving to the back end of the base, and you want to clear out the majority of the core of the space, particularly when there are singles in the core that you don't want the heroes to have to contend with. But we do have to help with some of the splash, with some of the defenses and heroes, is the Skellies in the core of the base. Typically those are for the multis, but we want to help keep away from those scatter shots and also protect the heroes coming in. Beautiful push straight through the core, and heroes hanging hanging on with the abilities is keeping this in a nice position.
Yeah, and it's, again, really important to take down those Expos, because this is one of the main defenses in addition to the Single Throne Tower, which can actually deal a lot of damage to those heroes. And those heroes are supposed to finish off this base now. He has 1 invisibility, 2 freezes, and things are looking really good for him. He's able to take down the first Expo. Queen has to go through a wall, unfortunately, but the Royal Champion should be able to clear out those core defenses to make sure that the Queen then can reach out of those other buildings. Royal Champ now coming to the inside and taking down the first Single Throne Tower and the Expo as well. And with that, there is not too much left. Now it really depends on that Queen and where she's going. She's following that path and going for the Archer Tower next, but the Royal Champion should maybe stay alive. Is there any ground skeletons? That would be a really big thing. I mean, the Queen ability is still left as well, so I don't think that this base has a chance.
And you can see Jaga knows he's got this done. Throwing up that X. He's got the 3-star, which claims the lead over STRUT in this. They know they have the advance continuing on. Even if STRUT pick up the 3-star, this keeps them a leg ahead. These defenses are not coming through for STRUT the way that they had hoped for. And X Team is definitely coming in with different power today than we saw yesterday. The star count is increasing much higher. This is a team that definitely wants their revenge against Perumania after the matchup in yesterday's Final War.
Yeah, that's for sure. And right now it just seems like that the STRUT bases cannot hold against those air attacks from X Team. So far, they used the Super Dragons to success. They used the Inferno Dragons to success as well. While STRUT tried to somehow defend the Super Dragons with the Single Throne Towers, X Team was just like, okay, then we don't use Super Dragons, we use Inferno Dragons, and we're going to be fine against the Single Throne Towers, because then again, it's kind of the opposite thing, where multi-Throne Towers are good against Inferno Dragons, and that's kind of the circle right there. So, unfortunate thing for STRUT, they now have to hope for a defense at some point. At the same time, though, they have to keep 3-starring on their own, which is easier said than done, and which isn't that easy overall. So, we have to wait and see what STRUT is coming in with next, and if they can 3-star again and make sure that they're staying close to the result of X Team so far.
Yeah, it's 3-star or nothing for them. And not only that, but they have to find the defense to come through. And I believe an 86% 2-star is what they would need in hand against X Team in order to get that done. But Ast coming in, not with the Super Drags, going back to his roots of the Lalo. We do have the Ice Lalo push coming in, but the hero dive to start this off. King, Queen working together with the Royal Champion in a very big section. Now the Queen going on her split here for the Town Hall. Easy access with the Unicorn just to keep her alive enough to take down that value. And the Royal Champ to sneak in a little bit deeper into the base. A nice position would be to take on the Eagle and that multi-targeting Inferno so he can take down the potential damage zone. But does he have the invisibility spell enough to get this taken down? Launches that Seeking Shield, and she's in a threatening position and will not be able to get the full value in the center.
Yeah, the Clan Castle got lured out as well. There's some archers. The Queen is about to fall, so the Unicorn is tanking and keeping those archers inside that poison. Now we have the Slammer starting. The Slammer really close to that single Inferno Tower, so needs to be careful. Maybe even freeze that single in combination with that Eagle to make sure the Slammer is staying alive for as long as possible. A lot of red mines are getting triggered. That is huge for this Lalo, and there's another Warden ability. So many loons are getting covered with that Warden ability, which is really, really nice. And now the question is, can he take down the remaining of this base with this huge push of loons closing into the back end, with those loons coming from the top side as well. He has no more loons to reinforce anything, but the Slammer hasn't even opened yet with a couple of phrases and a haste spell now as well. He is looking good to finish off this base.
I gotta say that haste in the core along with the Warden timing was definitely a savior for this attack, but he's still got to make his way through. We have the Wizard Tower splash on the back end of the base. Minute 11 on the clock, and he does have a freeze to hold off if he needed for the splash, but he's got a beautiful spread and the Drag Rider to help this one out. Cleanup is spread around, and Ast, while he looked a little bit disappointed in not getting the value he intended out of that Royal Champion, is able to recover this one. He seems disappointed because he knows this is not the performance confidence level that he wanted to get out of it. You can see that they are struggling to try and find their way back into this, knowing that a defense is still needed. This is not the same team that we saw yesterday, not with the same confidence that they have coming into it. They are feeling the pressure, and X Team is holding them back despite bringing in this 3-star.
Yeah, but it was exactly what STRUT had to do in this situation, 3-starring to keep the pressure up on the X Team side, because if they fail only once, they can be again, it's a completely different match then again, depending on whatever percentage they're going to get. On the other side, though, we have seen X Team fail yesterday a couple of times with not too many percentage either, so we have to wait and see what they can come in with, or if they can keep, well, outminding the bases of STRUT with yesterday showing non-stop flame flingers for the Town Hall, and today not doing it once so far in this match, and instead really making sure that the flame flingers are used in different locations and switching things up between Super Dragons and Inferno Dragons depending on the defending Inferno Tower setups, and making sure that they're countering this setup then accordingly. So we have to wait and see, but so far it's looking good for X Team. You can see it in the stats below us. And STRUT, they have to hope for a defense. It's not in their hand anymore. Next team is attacking in next.
And I feel like STRUT might be feeling a little bit of hindsight in the way that they prepared against X Team, knowing that X Team has gotten the better of them. And this is the unfortunate thing, because once you set those bases, there is no turning back. The strategy starts at the beginning of the war, and you just have to, in this kind of meta, perform. You have to almost go perfect in order to get these wins, to get the job done. Defenses aren't always easy to come by, as we're starting to see here from X Team. Now, Homura coming in with the Lalo, so switching it up a little bit, coming into a heavily defensive saturated area, but dropping the Skelly spells to help protect the Queen. She's taken on a lot of damage, but does have her ability intact in the Unicorn to help, but the sneaky Goblin, or the Skellies here, are going to hold her off a little bit and might even force her ability a little bit early, but he does have 2 invisibility spells to help carry this through, just not necessarily making her push in, so the King is going to have to come in. Oh, wait, he's going out. Queen is coming back in, so we'll have what he needs to take down that Town Hall.
Yeah, really nicely done in the beginning, making sure this Queen is staying alive and can take down the Town Hall now. But problem is, that Royal Champ is not getting too much value. At least he's getting her Royal Champion shield off, which is nice to take down some more Builder Huts, but as well, that King, I am not sure. I think he wanted to take down the scatter shot, maybe even take down the Queen. He's not getting any of that. That invisibility spell is too late, and that might be the defense STRUT is hoping for, depending on how the next few percentage will look like. This time around, we have, again, 3 single Inferno Towers, so really heavily focusing on defending those Super Dragons from STRUT. And now this means Lalo is typically working quite well, because multi-Inferno Towers, that's what really is a big threat to those Inferno Towers, to those troops. But let's see how many red mines there are in the core, maybe.
Yeah, and the singles actually surrounding do wind up opening up that scatter, the Stone Slammer a little bit earlier than expected. The Warden ability actually timing is perfect here, helping to get past the scatter shot, but 86% is what STRUT needs to try and claim the lead. And when you come in with a Lalo, that's a relatively easy score to pick up, is 87-90% to come into this. And he is getting mighty close with the freeze left in hand. Unless there are some traps along the way to stop these loons, this splash is not going to stop it. It is still going strong. He is coming in mighty close to hit the mark to hold the percent advantage. There we go, 86, 87 coming in, and they are going to hold the percent lead, and actually might even be able to get this 3-star done despite the King distracting the minions and pups down below. Loon starting to fizzle out a little bit through the single. Here come the traps that they were finally waiting for. And is it going to be enough to hold off with the Warden, the Electro Owl, the minions, the pups? It's not! It's another 3-star on the board for X Team, despite not getting the value that he wanted initially. recovers that beautifully, and X Team is absolutely demolishing these Strut bases today and giving almost no hope now left for Strut to try and turn this around. I think that would have been the attack to actually try and get it done.
And that's the problem, like that's the reason as well why we do not see only single Inferno Towers in pro matches at all, because Lalo is just wrecking those Inferno Towers, and he did not even need the full value of his heroes because, well, first of all, Tornado Trap was at the end of the attack. Red Mines were at the end of the attack. Inferno Towers were in the wrong mode to defend this specific attack. So overall, even though he did not get the value, he took down so much with the additional Tesla farm and the traps being at the end. It did not matter for the Lalo. Lalo was able to push it through with a beautiful warden ability, and then just those loons picking up the buildings one by one. So overall, really nice attack, really nice save, especially in the end, making sure that X Team is staying on top. And at this point, it's not looking too great for Strut because the percentage defense they need is really, really low. And so far, X Team today is showing no weakness whatsoever. So now let's see if Tryhard is getting that next 3-star which Strut needs. Because as soon as they're failing only once, well, their journey most likely is over. So this blimp is flying all across next to the scatter shot, next to the queen to take down this entire compartment. So let's see and wait what else is on the menu for this Blizzard.
And gets a CC lure, so we can pull it to a nice dark corner. Drops that final invisibility spell just to finish off the job, and does get the Expo down here. So we've got an easy pull, got easy access to take on not only the CC, but work our way around the base and get to that Wizard Tower and start the Queen's pathing leading up along towards that Town Hall.
Yeah, Queen taking down the How nice and easy. And then we're going to have a Lalo part. The question though is then, where is the Lalo starting? Is it from the bottom side? Because that would mean that he's going to at least one sweeper. Or is it then from the Town Hall side? But that means he needs to wait kind of a long time until that Town Hall is down. And the next problem is he cannot use the wall break yet. He has to wait until this elixir storage going down. Otherwise the wall break is not going to target the Expo as a wall most likely. And this is why the troops are walking to the outside again. And this is right now really bad news for Tryhard. He cannot use the wall break as long as this elixir storage is left staying. Otherwise, this is going to be the wall which is getting targeted. And the Queen is completely avoiding that storage. So now the question is, what is about to happen? What is happening next? Is he going to place the wall break now and hope for the best? Yes, he is. But I don't know if that was the best wall which it can open. Another freeze. And the Queen now finally is getting closer to that Town Hall.
Oh, and finally gets to the single, but has expended, oh my goodness, a lot of those freezes, forces that ability, and it is just enough for her to take down the Town Hall and clear out the majority of the compartment. So coming in with your initial suspicion from that bottom side of the base, straight through the multi, into the Eagle, into the next multi, with that Warden ability that's going to help clip through, not only for the loons coming in for the multi-centralized here in the Air Sweeper, but for the scatter shot and the Royal Champion. Royal Champ, though, on the outskirts of the base with the RC there to help take her out. Loons are passing in. Final freeze comes down to hold off that splash from the Wizard Tower. And it looks like he's got some recovery here, but only 31 seconds left to go. Hanging on to one loon that can be spread once those defenses are down to put in for the cleanup. But breathing a sigh of relief, Tryhard comes in with a much-needed 3-star, but it's that final attack coming in from X Team Itsu that they need in order to get it done, and it's a huge, tall order to ask for with something below an 86%. That's going to be a tough one. They had it come in with the Repotted gaming match, that defense that they needed when they needed, but can lightning strike twice? That I can't really say is a very likely scenario here.
Yeah, that's a big question. And I mean, the last time was a ring base which saved them, and so far it seems like they're not using those ring bases. Instead, they're using those diamond-shaped bases with those core Inferno Towers, which are most of the time set to single, which so far has worked great for X Team to take them out with either Lalo or then the Inferno Dragons. So both options are not great. Let's see what they're bringing up next. If it's going to be another 3 single Inferno Tower base or something different this time. maybe they have mixed something different in end. It is going to be, again, those Inferno Towers, but it's going to be 2 set to multi. And because of that, we're going to have a Super Boulder Smash, actually, with 1 Dragon Rider. So let's see and wait where that's coming in. Wait a second. Is that... No, I thought that would be an Ice Golem or something, but that's going to be a Raged Yeti Blimp to make sure that he's taking a lot out. But this multi-Inferno Tower, that's going to survive, but that's where the Dragon Riders coming in, maybe.
And Queen actually working her way through, healers down to set in course and start working her way along, setting up the path. We've got the Warden working together. This helps speed up the process. And, you know, we talk about it a lot. These Super Bowler Smashes are almost infallible. We almost never see these particular types of attacks fail, especially from a team like X Team that is very versatile coming in. Next wall break opens up to give the pathing for the King to work his way through. We've already used the blimp, so we don't have anything to really work along the outskirts. Keka moves its way in, King on the outskirts, and that's all going to force it into the Town Hall. This has a nice deep dive coming through, open access with the wall break and that final jump to lead into the Town Hall. This is looking in a beautiful position to finish off with the perfect war for X Team.
Yeah, a really good jump to make sure that the entire smash pretty much is getting across the base. They have to take down the Town Hall, though. The jump is kind of a little bit further away from the Town Hall. The chain trap is rotating troops away from the Town Hall, but some of them into the Town Hall as well. There goes the Town Hall. 60% is reached, and I don't think that this back end can somewhat defend against that. Again, we have the Tesla farm in front of the Town Hall. That was the go-to strategy for STRUT, defending those Flamefinger for the Town Hall. But with X Team changing their approach, changing their strategy entirely, STRUT bases did not have any chance to defend it. This might be even a perfect match for X Team, with Melee finishing off more and more beatings and getting closer and closer to the deciding percentage which they need to beat STRUT and get into the finals and get this rematch against their team Perumania, which they have lost yesterday.
Yeah, 88% gives them what they need to actually make their way through, and the Queen with that ability is going to be enough to ensure it. While it might not be enough time to be the 3-star, it is enough for them to claim the percent that they need, and they know it. It's a done deal here. 28 seconds left to go. Archers on the inside, and it is going to be the perfect war against STRUT. X Team stopping STRUT from coming in 3 consecutive years, picking up a golden ticket. And this means X Team will wind up advancing on to face off for revenge against Perumania. You got to give it to them today for coming in with this beautiful performance after a lower scoring war yesterday. They're going to have to fight hard, but kudos to them. We still have one more attack left to go to see from STRUT, and let's see if they can at least finish it off strong, knowing that the unfortunate defense was their demise here.
Yeah, especially it kind of felt like yesterday they were just pretending to play, with always forcing this Flamefinger into the Town Hall, just like knowing that they have this second tournament live in this upper bracket, and that even if they lose, they have another chance. And it sounds risky, it sounds really crazy, but that's just how it looks like it feels, because they have not done it once today with the Flamefinger for the Town Hall, while yesterday forcing it every single time and even having a 1-star because of that. So STRUT tried to defend it, and it did backfire completely for the bases from STRUT, because that entries from the complete other side were happening, and that's obviously not on the menu. Instead, now we have the next base from X Team, and Yo-Yo is going to attack this with the Lalo attack, with the lock launcher through the core of this base. And I think it's another legend base, which we might have seen already. So let's see how this is going to defend, and let's see how this attack will work from Yo-Yo.
Yeah, so coming in with the log launcher to open up the core of the base here. We often see the Yetis coming out to help pick up some of the multis and singles on the inside of the base, and this actually gives a beautiful pass for the King and Queen to work around the outskirts of the base and help out here as well. Though the King does cross over, the Yak and the Valk actually help take care of some of the cleanup. And here come the Yetis, but they're crossing over and actually not working into the centralized area where you'd want to see them. So this could pose a little bit of a threat, knowing that the Lalo needs to push towards the outer perimeter of the base, getting into the town hall. Queen trying to fight her way, though, to get to the scatter shot, and does make her way in with the Royal Champion.
Yeah, and the Lalo started really early. The Queen and the Royal Champion haven't even finished the value yet, and the Lalo's already started. There's the freeze coming in for the Town Hall. He's going to delay the Warden ability as long as he can to make sure that those loons can leave the Town Hall Poison. There we go, perfect Warden ability, the timing, and those loons now can leave that Town Hall Poison nicely and overpower the back. And even as another Hound coming in for that back end to tank the back and scatter, the heal in the core is not even needed. And that means this is going to be another 3-star for a STRUT. But unfortunately, it is not going to be enough to win this match. It's going to be a 15-14 a match. But X Team is going to come out on top. It's a lot of spells which can be swagged, a lot of troops. And Yo-Yo showing off how to play those 3 Lalo attacks. So really nicely done from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful finish to the war here for STRUT. But at the end of the day, it is X Team that has absolutely impressed us, coming in with a lower scoring war. And when we looked at the stats earlier today, the head-to-head stats, it looked like the advance here was for STRUT. And that gave X Team a huge opportunity to come in, sneak in, and showcase what they can do, especially with XBB coming in with that successful Valk attack. So kudos to X Team, who will now advance on into the grand finals to face off against Perumania yet again. But Perumania will have the advanced lead on this. But let's take a look at this. 15-14. I mean, we talk about it in the meta. You have to come in perfect in order to try and get the job done at the end of the day. And this definitely proves it.
Yeah, especially I think X Team with coming in with completely different strategies. We have seen obviously Super Dragons, Inferno Dragons, but as well like a Sui Lalo. We have seen Super Bowler Smash. We have seen the Mass Valkyrie attack as well from XBB. So completely different strategies all over the place. So cannot wait to see if we can see as well that dance again from XBB later today. That would be kind of cool to see him 3-star again versus Perumania and show us some light magic over there again. But that was an impressive showing, from 11 stars from yesterday to 15 today versus a STRUT team which so far had really good defenses against the other top teams like Repotted, for example. So yeah, it seems like it wasn't the day, it wasn't the match to be. But X Team have their chance for revenge, because that is going to be the storyline. They have the revenge possibility after yesterday falling short against Perumania. They now have to beat them today twice. But I mean, the revenge possibility is there.
It is. And there is a $15,000 difference on the line. Of course, STRUT now in third place, walking away with $5,000 of the $50,000 prize pool. But it's going to be a $15,000 difference between these two teams that have to come into it. So either second place is going to come in with the $15,000, or first place gets that golden ticket and $30,000. But Itsu, I think we have a replay that we want to take a look at, and I'm curious which your favorite attack of the day is to showcase and take a look.
I mean, I think it is an easy decision. I think it's a really easy thing. Mass Valkyrie attack. I mean, we have seen it yesterday, falling short, unfortunately, from XBB. But I mean, today, that was just the beauty of an attack. And this means we have the Valkyrie attack. So let's take a look at exactly how he's breaking down this base, how he's going to approach this base with those Valkyries. So what he does is, first things first, he's just going to funnel with the Warden around the bottom side. What this does is he's creating then pathing later on into the Town Hall. That's like his main goal. That's where the Valkyries are supposed to get into. And to make sure that this Town Hall Poison is not wrecking his Valkyries, not wrecking his healers, he is going to take that out with plenty of super goblins, of those sneaky goblins. He is triggering or trying to trigger a couple of traps, trying to scout for possible traps over there. And so far, it's looking really, really good. The invisibility spell, making sure that the Town Hall is getting taken down. And now take a look at that Town Hall timing. At this point, you might wonder, what exactly is going on with that timing, because, well, he has to wait. He has to wait for the Town of Poison to go and run off and make sure that the Town of Poison is no longer anymore there, and then the Valkyries, and especially the healers, can survive that and push all the way through. So you can see Town of Poison stopped being there. Right away, the Queen is getting placed, and then all of those Valkyries are getting pushed in or getting pushed across. With one jump, he's able to open the entire base. Take a look at this one jump right dead into the core, onto that clan castle, making sure that he's opening everything, getting access to everything. And now those rages, those troops getting pushed in. We have the loons getting pushed in there as well to tank for any possible red mines. And that warden ability in just a second further into the core is keeping all of them alive. He is pushing into a multi-inferno tower in between of two scatter shots. That's a ton of damage, especially for troops which like to stack up, who like to be on top and make sure that they are getting enough damage out. So that warden ability was awesome. And now at this point, you can just take down the entire core, and with that, only a couple of defenses are left. And that's just not enough. That's not enough to take down the king with his his ability still, to take down the Royal Champion with her ability still. The Queen is alive, the healers are alive, everything is alive. And we were able to witness a really nice light show from XBB. And let's see if we're going to see that and going to witness that in a second again in that next match, Perumania versus X Team. But that attack from me was the attack of the day so far. So really, really nicely done to him. Especially the trick with the Town of Poison was really nice, and which we have not seen that often so far in those matches.
Sorry about that. I was a little bit muted there, but definitely excited to see you picking the Valk for that particular attack, because it isn't something that we see very often, but definitely showcases that it does have its place within it. So beautiful, beautiful performance there from X Team. Perfect war against STRUT, and I can't wait to see what they have coming along. But we've got some special announcements coming up for the additional golden ticket opportunities and how you can get into it. So let's take a look and talk a little bit more about these opportunities and the ways that you can register and try and get your chance for the next golden ticket, because for this one, it's either going to be Perumania or X Team. So the first one we have coming up is part of ESL, the Snapdragon Pro Series that they have coming in conjunction with Qualcomm and Snapdragon. Now, this is an $120,000 prize pool. Signups are going on now. They do close tomorrow, so you need to get your opportunity in. But this is going to be great, because just like we saw last season, we've got the North American division and we've got the EU MENA division as well. And these teams are going to be facing off in the Snapdragon Mobile Open and Mobile Challenge in order to make their way through. But the regional top teams will have to face off against each other in order to get that golden ticket. So this is your opportunity if you're in North America, if you're in Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa, to sign up and get in on it for the Snapdragon Pro Series, as you remember from ESL Mobile last year. And we also have coming up the Clash Masters series returning as another way to come in and get a golden ticket opportunity. Now, signups open April 15th, so you still have some time to get in it. This again is going to be your other opportunity to try and get your chance at the golden ticket with a lot of amazing gameplay. We saw an incredible series last year. Looking forward to see what they have in store. So make sure that you are following Snapdragon, that you're following Clash Masters, getting in there, getting those signups in, and getting your chance for your team to try and get into the World Championships and claim that golden ticket with tons of prize pools on the line. Again, $50,000 for Clash Masters. It's a total of $120,000 for the Snapdragon Pro Series, with $60,000 going to each of those division 10,000 that is going to be for the open series on both sides, and 50,000 for the mobile challenge series. So we've got some exciting stuff to come, Itsu. And there's so many different ways that these players are going to be able to work their way through and get it. But we still have to figure out who's going to get this first golden ticket today.
Yeah, that's a lot of cool announcements for sure. So many tournaments coming up, so many big tournaments as well, prize pool wise. I mean, the golden ticket is one big thing, but as well, there's a lot of prize money always on the line for those tournaments. But as you have said it as well, this one tournament has not finished yet. This Queso Cup golden ticket edition is still on, and we have now 2 teams fighting for this golden ticket. So I think we should now take a look at the stats which we have seen so far and see which stats we might expect in this next match coming up and see their success rates as well. One important thing as well, which means those stats, they're only from day 1, which means from yesterday collected. So let's take a look at them and see how successful which troop, which strategy was, and how many times we saw them. So yesterday we have seen Queen Charge Lalo quite a bit, 8 hits overall, with overall an 62% hit rate. But if we take a look at those hit rates, take a look at that. Sui Lalo, 100%, Super Dragons, 80% as well. So those crazy high hit rates over there. And overall, the lowest hit rate on this list is actually Queen Charge Hybrid with only 50%.
Yeah, and Queen Charge Hybrid is something that we do enjoy saying, but it is very, very base specific coming into it. But a lot of people ask, why do we only see Lalo? And it's these hit rates that are definitely showing why we see it. But we have to give a huge shout out to Chase the Ace, who has put together these amazing, incredible stats for us, keeping up to date on everything coming through with the various tournaments, including the Queso Cup Golden Edition, and keeping us up to date as to what the popular strategies are. So this, for viewers at home here, shows you what you should be focusing on, the type of attacks that you should be watching. And as you're not only watching these incredible tournaments, but you're watching the community leagues as well, this is where you can learn, see what the pros are doing, and learn how to adapt and adjust. But what we can say is those Queen Charges definitely helping out quite a bit, and air is certainly dominating in the mix.
Yeah, I feel like ground is a little bit unlucky on this list. I mean, we have Lalo, Dragon Riders, Super Dragon, again Lalo with Blizzard Lalo, and then Hybrid as the only ground strategy. Yeah, ground is not looking that good, with one of the big reasons being that you can block most of those air traps, actually all of those air traps, with a great warden ability. So let's say you're facing all of those black mines in the core with your Super Dragons. If you still have your warden ability, just use it and you're going to be fine. At the same time, if you're going with Hybrid and you're running into a lot of string traps, you can use 10 warden abilities and you're not going to be fine, because those miners and hog riders are always going to be taken down. So that's like the big difference right now, where traps can be a big difference in the defense. While Lalo is really hard to get baited, the same thing with Super Dragons. On the other side, ground, it's actually kind of doable with those traps. So that's the big difference, why we see so much air and not that much ground. But overall, we have seen a lot of Lalo. So the question is, for this next match, which we have coming up, Perumania versus X-Team, do we see a lot of Lalo again? Or do we more go into the Super Dragon and maybe again Inferno Dragon direction?
And that is the big question of the day. Perumania coming in, I'll say it again, as the dark horse. This is a team that came basically out of nowhere. No one knew anything about them. They came into the scene, they came in dominating, taking over in the first 2 top seed areas and working their way all the way through with this easy advance coming into this finals. Now, because this is a best of 3 matchup, this does mean they have 1 extra win under their belts here coming into it. So in order for X team to try and get in and get the opportunity, they would actually need to defeat Perumania. And for Perumania, we've got Alberto, Kronos, Fredu, Jake Carlos, and Mr. Jeff, who I think has made a name for himself. I saw it on Twitter. His name is Jeff, and get used to it.
That's how you do it. On the other side, a team which we have just seen in the incredible match versus STRUT. X-Team coming in with Denden, Hamura, Jaga, Melly, and the one and only XBB with his mass Valkyrie attacks. And he likes to run 10 healer attacks as well. So maybe we can get ready for something which is sometimes even crazier than Valkyries. But if we take a look at those two teams, they were actually both the teams from the upper bracket, from the upper Swiss stage bracket, which means both teams finished the Swiss stage with 3-0. And they have pretty similar stats overall, I want to say. 13.5 average stars to 13.2. And the percentage is really similar as well. So this match should be a really close one.
And this is what we saw yesterday, where we saw a lot of defenses actually coming in, lower scoring wars for these two teams, one of which was because of the 1-star with the Valk attack, but it was a huge recovery. That X team did come in, and they've built the confidence today actually coming through with that beautiful execution that you showcased as well during the replay from XBB. And I think we are all hoping to see the light show again, a little bit more of that. But a well-matched team here. And it does put a lot of pressure on both sides, but Perumania again coming in with that lead. We're talking about a best-of-3 bracket in which Perumania, because they've worked their way across the top line, has that advance, so they already have 1 win under their belt. So we would need XBB to take them down first and take them down a second time in order to get the win over it. If Perumania get the win in this, it is a done deal, and they win that golden ticket. XBB kicking it off again with exactly what we're waiting to see. The Valks and those sneaky gobs opening up the trap. We've got that tornado trap already spotted, and the sneaky gobs to check again and work their way through to take on the town hall. Look at all these traps that he is picking up along the way while the flame flinger starts kicking it off for the eagle.
Oh, and there are the sneaky goblins for the town hall. Nicely done. The eagle is down. The flame fingers keep pushing forward. The clan castle is getting lured, so he can take that out as well. So that's so many things going in his favor, because you do not want to face the clan castle inside that base with having an Valkyrie attack, because the queen is going to be stuck on that lava hound. The Valkyries are going to be stuck on that ice golem. So things which should not happen. So far, he's taking his time. He's taking down the eagle. Take a look at that. And now the question is, where is he going to enter? Is he going to send in everything into that into the single phone tower at the top side? Or does he have different plans, different things? Because time is ticking. 1 minute and 35 seconds left. That's not a lot of time.
It is not a lot of time. We've got some Valks coming out from the outskirts as well, additionally taking care of the cleanup. Warden finally working his way through. I mean, we talk about the smash style attacks and wanting to get going within that 2-minute mark, and time is a-ticking, but we've got an easy access and open, but this could potentially spread the Valks around in very different sections here, forcing them not necessarily in a position they want to be. Warden's just clipped the ability coming through, but we still need to get through the scatter shot. Valks are there in the safe zone, but taking damage from the surrounding mortars as the queen works her way, the king works his way through down in that rage in the bottom of the base, and the royal champ coming in for support.
Yeah, and those Valkyries are so quick, and with that, it is still 45 seconds left with the king doing out the assassin farm at the bottom side. The royal champion with her ability still left, and he's having the first freeze and even invisibility spell still left. There's just so many ground skeletons, but the tanks should take those. The queen is breaking through the top side, and now everything is relying on the shoulders of that royal champion. There's the next invisibility spell. Do we see the light show again? That's the big question. Do we see a freeze down? Yes, it is going to be the dance. Let's go. XBB getting the 3-star. What an attack. Having a 1 minute and 25 second warden walk. This is not something which we're seeing every day. So what a guy. It's so cool. Again, using those 18 Valkyries or something. That is crazy.
No light show this time, but a little robot action coming in, and the celebration is exceptional to go along with the exceptional display of that attack. Great to see him coming in and showcasing a place for Valks in the lineup. I think we're going to see a lot more people maybe playing around with Valks, seeing if they can do this on particular strategies, but it's going to take a lot of time and patience to work through, but I'm definitely excited for this. So they're certainly showing Perumania that after that 15-star performance against STRUT, they are ready to try and take them down and hold them back. Again, they would need to get this win in order to try and go a second round to get the final final win. But if Perumania can hold strong, they can finish it off in one go today. So we'll wait and see patiently as Perumania prepares for their first attack to come in, hoping that it will be a 3-star to carry through the pressure.
And especially this match is so different to the one yesterday, because yesterday we started things off for X Team with a 1-star. This is obviously an incredible hard situation to come back from. So having a team starting with a 1-star, you cannot compare that to like a team motivation-wise coming in with a 3-star. So we're looking forward to see this rematch now, and with Alberto coming in first this time. Yesterday he was the finisher for Perumania. Today he is coming into the first attacking position, trying to take down the Town Hall with those sneaky goblins, using that invisibility spell in just a second. And there we go, turning those sneaky goblins invisible. The Town Hall is gone, and this means the Super Dragons are about to get unleashed onto this base, with the heroes on the outside funneling the Boomerang on the bottom side. So this means the Eagle is the target. The Eagle is the side where he's coming in from.
Yeah, and the Stone Slime are going to really help keep this on course. Working those Super Drags. They will push to the outside of the base, but we have the Baby Drag trying to force them along on the inside. Heroes really need to take on that scatter shot position in order to take it down and force the course into the multis and the single on the back end, so the heroes have enough power to finish their way through. But the one thing about this is there really are no consequential defenses once those Super Drags get through the core of the base. Scatter shots are here right on the front side. The singles are right there. If the Drags can make it through, but they are getting forced back by those air sweepers, and he's being quite stingy with those freezes to hold them off, quite honestly.
Yeah, those two sweepers, and especially now those two single Inferno Towers, are really giving those Super Dragons a rough time. We have seen that earlier from STRUT, using the single Inferno Towers to make sure that those Super Dragons are not getting that much value, because they're a tanky troop, and those single Inferno Towers are just melting through those tanky troops. And exactly that's why X Team kind of adapted and used the Inferno Dragons. Perumania sticking to the Super Dragons, and that's what is happening then. So he's really struggling in this back end. The Royal Champ is getting taken down by this single Inferno Tower. The Hound is going to survive, and this means he's starting things off with 2 stars, starting things off with a really nice lead for X Team.
Yeah, huge lead for them. We'll see a little bit more percent with Lassie trying to take down the Wizard Tower. Ooh, but not quite enough. So 85% may be where we stand on this one. And honestly, I'd love to have seen if he had been just more reactive with those freezes against the air sweepers, trying to get those dragons through to take on the singles, because that's what you worry about in the back end. And typically when we see bases for the super drag attacks, you're going on them where you have the scatter shots or the singles on the outside edge of the base where your heroes can actually reach them. In this case, those super drags needed to take them down, and I'm not sure what he was waiting for with those freezes. Definitely waited a little bit too long. And that gives a huge advantage now to X Team, who has a huge boost coming into this war. They do have a long fight to go, since they would have to win twice in order to get the ultimate win. So Perumania does sit in a decent position, even if they get the loss in this first round. But there's plenty more war to go to see if they can bring in the proper defense.
Yeah, if you have seen the match yesterday, you know it's not over yet. Both of those teams were throwing offense and defense at each other, so that's going to be a fun match for sure. And X Team, I mean, do they again use the Flame Flinger for the Town Hall against those bases from the Perumania guys? That's the big question, because versus STRUT, they completely flipped their strategy. Do they do it again, or do they have another plan, another approach for the next opponent? That's the question. And what do we have? We have those Super Dragons coming in as well, and we have again the Flame Flinger. This time, though, for the other side of the Town Hall, so for a scatter compartment to take down the scatter, to take down air defense, and obviously even an Archer Tower and a cannon, which should be on the menu as well. The best thing about this is that the splash damage of that Flame Flinger should take down the Wizard Tower if he's shooting at that cannon. So things are looking good, as long as there's no traps, like a skeleton trap, things like that. He needs to be careful, or maybe even giant bombs, and this Flame Flinger is not getting that much value, which he's hoping for.
Now knocks out the air sweeper as well, leading into the town hall. So we're going to head straight into this position, coming in a long line and try and course the lead through the base here. Heroes can provide a lot of work along the outside edge. I'd honestly be curious to see if he would use the heroes coming in, but there's a lot of storages and that could cause some problems. So Drags actually working their way through from the opposite side of the town hall. It's going to be one of the last things they work their way for, so we obviously want to ensure that the heroes stay alive, which is why we slightly delay the king coming in a little bit deeper down the side. Queen working inside the space is never ideal because you want her reaching over the walls where the king can't reach and working just behind him. So we'll see if this is going to be enough power to lead in and get what he needs for the town hall here. But with a reserved royal champion who would be for the scatter shot on the back end, he could always save her to get into the town hall if these drags die out.
Yeah, we have so many red bombs behind that town hall. Now the freeze, and he still needs to take down the town hall. That's the big problem. X team, please, not again a one-shot. They had that yesterday, but there's not too many spells left. He's now trying to push that royal champ into the town hall with that rage together to take it down. That's the important thing right now. And with that royal champ ability, this might be possible. Royal champ ability is still not used to make sure that this tunnel is going down. The single Inferno Tower might be next on the menu, but the back end is just too strong, it seems like. Or maybe the king can overpower this with the king tanking this royal champion. The royal champion is just surviving.
Wow, that royal champion, but Lassie held off the single for her to give her just enough power. Royal champ sneaks in, clutches this one up, and Den comes in and saves the 3-star. That is absolutely exceptional. Not the easiest feat to do, Itsu, but he gets it done. That royal champ has got to be the MVP of today's attacks.
Yeah, the royal champion coming in clutch with that rage. And that's another thing which I'm always like kind of looking for is those spells. I feel like with those dragons, since you deploy pretty much everything in the beginning, you need to control them with your spells, raging the outside flanks to push your main squad then through the core. And they were able to save so many spells for the back end. The rage was for the royal champion. We had a couple of freezes back then. So overall, the spell placement was really nice to get that town hall in the end. And then a little bit of lucky then to get that royal champion surviving with a couple of hit points to finish off this scatter. And then the king can finish off the rest of this base. So this means X team on fire today. And well, Perumania, they need to 3-star as well. Otherwise, this first match might get out of hand. But you have mentioned it as well. This is just the first match. If we see X-Team winning, Perumania, because they came into this final through the upper bracket, they have this one bonus round already won. Overall, it's the best of 3, but the best of 3 is starting with one match win already for Perumania due to the how the bracket works. So now X-Team have to win twice, and so far it's looking good for them.
It definitely is. That recovery was superb. Great start for them. And I think it's a confidence boost that they had coming out of the perfect war against STRUT that certainly is giving them the pressure ahead of this. Plus, a defensive start here definitely gives an extra boost. We have Mr. Jeff himself coming in with the Hydra. We come in with a lightning spell to take out the air sweeper, just taking away any resistance from where we actually want to push our dragons in from. So a smart move coming in for this. But again, it looks like we're going to leave that town hall for the back end, but we do have a blimp to try and sail through into it. And we'll see if what he's got coming out of the mix for that.
Yeah, and we have that king running into quite some problems with that defending king, but the dragons and dragon riders are spreading out quite a bit. With that blimp now making it to the tunnel, is the tornado trap over there? That would be the perfect place for the tornado trap to rotate things away from the town hall, but no, the tornado trap is not behind that town hall, and instead the heroes can completely dodge this clan chasm. Whatever is in there will, well, actually that came out around the bottom side with the dragons, but take that out really quickly. This Tesla farm, oh my goodness, this Tesla farm is dealing so much damage to that royal champ. The royal champ ability already got used. This is a lot of backend still left.
It is a lot of back and a lot of middle still left with the single there. I actually really like the use of that Yeti blimp coming in and the timing of the rage for the dragons. It did offer a lot of power, but there's still a lot of backtrack that needs to happen. Royal Champ has already been placed on the board with her ability expended, so this means this is going to be another defense coming through. That single is going to absolutely roast through the dragons, and the Queen now no longer with any health left. What they're looking to do is pick up the percentage as high as possible. X Team looking like they are giving the fight of their life to try and get that golden ticket, that very first one, and the $30,000 prize pool. Now 82% we're here at. Looks like that's about where we're going to end. Maybe just a little bit more with the archers on the outskirts here, but not getting anywhere above the 85% mark on this one.
Yeah, archers are there to take some more percentage, as you said, and we now can wait and see how much more Dark Elixir has to fall for this archer to collect another building. But you said it right, there is a really good defense again for X Team, and it really seems to be that for X Team, if they use those single Inferno Towers, there is no answer for Perumania for them. It really feels like they're struggling quite a bit, and one big question mark for me is as well, this base is, I think, pretty much perfect for air, because the clan castle is on one side, while the location where you want to play the heroes into the eagle is on the other. So the clan castle will not be lured if it's one of those so often used lava hounds. But what he did, he used Yetis inside that blimp instead of loons, for example. So that's a big question mark to me, because this means the lava hound came out really distracting those dragons and was able to make sure that those dragons had no access into the town, or the single Inferno tower, no access into the core. The single Inferno tower over there was staying up way too long, and with that, to me, as I said, I don't know why he used Yetis. That kind of felt like a big problem for those dragons, because with that, the lava hound is getting triggered and those dragons are stuck for quite some time.
Yeah, that is the downfall on it, unfortunately. So we'll see what X Team can do to now take advantage. They're holding this 2-star lead over Perumania, who really was dominating in this. I mean, we were talking about teams that were equally matched up going 3-0, and even with the defenses that they were holding. But X Team just coming in next level today with the confidence they need. And it's up to Jaga to continue to see if he can hold that lead. We've got the lightning spell combination to take on an air sweeper, but I noticed a clone and invisibility. So I'm curious to see what we have coming through with the blimp to help with this Hydra in the mix.
Yeah, and trying to have the first wall break to give that Queen access, and we're seeing again the Hydra, as you said, and that's to me always a big question. I feel like, why would you use dragons and dragon riders if there is the possibility of super dragons? Because they are so powerful. So let's see, looking forward to see how strong those dragon and dragon rider mix can be in this attack. The vulnerability, making sure the blimp is hopefully reaching that town hall, the vulnerability covering everything, and there we have the super minion blimp. Most likely, or is it going to be no, just the cloned Yeti blimp, making sure that the town hall falls. And yes, with the last shot of the dragon rider, it's going down, and the Queen even surviving around the bottom side, so things are looking not too bad for him. But it all depends on the back, and with the Tesla form still left to handle, it won't be an easy way. It won't be an easy one.
It won't, but he's got a little power left from the E-Drag and from the Dragon and Drag Rider working alongside with the Royal Champion, who is holding on to her ability. It's a scatter shot position that the Queen is holding the focus of, but has her ability to burst through the wall and the invisibility spell to try and carry this through. The longer he can hold on to the Royal Champ ability, the better for her. Wants to get that shot off on the Seeking Shield. Queen bursts through her ability in order to take it down and take on the surrounding defenses. Royal Champ and Queen, with the invisibility left, is going to give them the help they need to try and get through those final remaining defenses. And Jaga, despite having these skellies to defend, is going to be able to come in, drop yet another 3-star with a strong performance for X Team. These guys are looking unstoppable, and we've got some more dance moves in the mix.
Yeah, the X team dance at the end always really, really nice attack right there. And they really make those air attack look easy because at the end of the day, both teams use similar attack strategies. But at the moment, X team is going, like, they're just getting those attacks through. On the other side for Perumania, things do not seem to work out for them. Super Dragons are stuck sometimes. Sometimes those dragons are luring out the Clan Castle with the Yeti. And things really do not look that great for them. Now we have already at least 2-star lead, depending on how the next attack look like from Perumania. And at this point, they really need to concentrate because let's just say we're going to get into the second match. You do not want to get completely demolished into the first one because, well, that's like motivation-wise and mindset-wise really hard to like reset your mind for the second match then. Already planning ahead, obviously. This match far from being over. But still, this is something you always have to keep in mind. Just try your best at that current state. If it's not for that match, just to build up the motivation, the mindset for the next one.
Yeah, but I think for Perumania, the way that X Team is coming in is going to disturb their mindset, knowing that they just came out of a perfect war. They are going nonstop with the triples, and they continue to hold back Perumania. They need a little boost of confidence by picking up a 3-star in this next attack. And Mr. Jeff, who was their MVP, unfortunately has already been held back. And I think that does hurt a little bit. So let's see what Kronos can do. Coming in with the Queen Charge Hybrid, we saw it had about a 50% hit rate, so he's got a 50% shot of actually picking up this 3-star. We'll see if he's going for the right base, but notice in this Town Hall position, we've got both of the giant bomb towers, so this is a good opportunity to take those down. Biggest risk now that he has to worry about are those giant bombs and spring traps along the outside path.
Yeah, starting things off with the rage, interesting enough, making sure that this queen is not going to drop versus a king, which is dealing a ton of damage, and versus a warden. The warden is having so much damage versus a queen charge like this, and now he's trying to charge into that tower compartment, but there's a multi-inferno tower behind it, so not the classic single inferno tower. Interesting enough, it is a multi. I don't know if that is maybe a mistake or if it's intentional, but this is making the queen charge way easier, way more enjoyable than a single inferno tower behind it.
Absolutely. Definitely making an easy plan for this. Healers do survive with the freeze that holds off. Trying to keep this queen going strong and keep those healers nice, safe, and sound working in. And from the opposite side, we start the hybrid coming in with a slight delay in position of the siege barracks and the king to wrap their way around the corner. Now, ideally what we want to see is a narrowed out path moving in, staying away from that multi, but the queen's got the access to actually reach it, and that single is of no consequence to the hybrid coming in. So this is a perfect split unless there were Teslas on the inside to pull them in, but the king kind of veering off position. Would have been nice to work his way in for the air defense and give a nice quick force along to the eagle, but everything looking fine so far.
Yeah, the next Seer Spirit coming in, forcing all of those troops into that eagle, but the Seer Spirit a little bit off, not catching all of them, and now we have the Clan Castle troops coming out, and there's like a lot of witches in there. Skeletons everywhere, but the poison is perfect, so that's not too bad for the attacker. Now it's all about the back end. There is no scatter, no expos left, and this is looking really, really good for Kronos right there with the test at the top side, but the Royal Champion ability, Royal Champ still up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his reaction, and he's like, I mean, it's okay. I'm getting it done, but it's not as convincing as I wanted it to be. But he's still picking up the 3-star and bringing up the actual hit rate for the hybrid. So hybrid is not dead. You can still get the job done with it. Was a little bit worried seeing those miners crossing through with the giant bombs in the core of the base, but they were able to make their way through, and he's got the 3-star. So thumbs up coming in from Kronos of Perumania, and that is the motivation that they need coming into it. They are down for the count on stars, but if they can hold the defenses, try and turn this around, they can make this a one and done deal. But it seems like X Team is just on a roll and unrelenting in their pursuit to try and force their opportunity to grab that golden ticket.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for that base, it still surprises me. I feel like there were some switch-ups from the Inferno Tower settings from the base building side to make this Queen Charge even possible with that multi-Inferno Tower behind the Town Hall. Really nicely saw that there was the mistake in the base building, abused that with the hybrid, and he even used the hybrid on the right side where the single Inferno Tower was, so the Queen is not going to fall, while the Queen was able to charge into the second single Inferno Tower. So really nicely done right there. So now it's back to X Team. And as you said it, they're on a roll. They are incredible today. And I know it makes no sense to kind of pretend that you're doing some things, but it really looks like it, right? Like, if you compare the team, and now with the Matt Hawk Rider from yesterday to today, it looks like a completely different team. It looks like they were, I don't know, trolling yesterday, or I don't know, because they're starting things off with bats into a single Inferno Tower because there's no splash, and he's trying to take down the single Inferno Tower. I cannot wait to see if it's going to work to take down the single, because if it's I mean, it is going to work. And what a crazy entry already. X Team completely revamped and having a lot of fun doing this cool stuff. And now it's all about getting those heroes into the Town Hall, most likely, to get the Town Hall as well, to then have a big party with overall 37 Hog Riders.
Yeah, we've got the easy access of the wall wrecker coming in for that Town Hall. We talked about this back in Town Hall 13. This is kind of the easier approach rather than worrying about any air traps along the way. So a nice easy push to come in, take out the Town Hall. Heroes working in the adjoining compartment to push their way along, but they do have to get held up here by the Ice Hounds. I like this interesting approach that he's coming in with, and we know with Hogs, as opposed to Miners, we can go in with a much wider spread because they're focused solely on the defenses. Just need to take care of the cleanup coming in behind and try and make the most use out of those spells coming in for any of the saturated splash areas. So drops in for the multi there, gets them nice and healthy as they make the approach coming through into the Wizard Tower. And we've got 2 freezes to hold off the back end scatter shot. This is absolutely stunning. Coming in, like you said, revamping the way that they are going about this.
Is this really the same team? I mean, oh my goodness, that base is wrecked. There is no tomorrow for this base. I mean, just having the idea, you have to think about, okay, if you have a lot of time to plan, that's one thing, coming up with a crazy plan like this. But you have around about 8 minutes to even like spread out the bases, make sure everyone has their base to attack, and coming up with the first few plans. But seeing that there is no splash, it's a single Inferno Tower, and he knows how many bats he has to use to take down the single, that's unbelievable. X Team is on a roll, and right now they are looking unstoppable. Perumania having a lot of problems. Can X Team get the back-to-back perfect? That's the question at this point. They were able to beat STRUT with 15-14 just a couple of minutes ago. And now it seems like they're beating the Seed 1 team. Perumania, oh my goodness, it's looking really good for them. But Perumania is next, and obviously they want to keep the gap star-wise as close as possible. And that's only be done with the 3-star from their side.
Yeah, this is definitely a stunning showing, and like you said, very different from what we saw from them yesterday. I think that 1-star start they had might have motivated them to kick it into high gear and come back even stronger, or maybe it was all to mess with their heads. I mean, they knew they had the opportunity to drop into the lower bracket. I mean, it's easier if you can work your way through in the upper bracket, but I don't know. I sometimes think that these teams like to play around with the other opponent's heads here, and that seems to be what's happening, because it is a completely different story of what we are seeing today from X Team. And we've seen them in quite a few of the community tournaments playing around, practicing, but we have never seen them quite at the level they are playing against today. And I've seen it in a chat. That kind of attack is golden ticket worthy. This is the kind of action that we want to see in the World Championships. But they not only need to get the win in this matchup, they would need to face off against Perumania one more time to try and advance on and get that golden ticket, since Perumania come in with the advantage and a 1-star lead, or 1-win lead already in this match.
Yeah, that's right. Having already the one match won pretty much because you're coming from the upper bracket in a best of 3 overall in the finals. But I mean, X Team so far is looking really, really good on offense and defense. Not only holding back Perumania, but as well earlier STRUT. And now we have Jay Carlos coming in with his super giant, super bowler attack onto this box base. Typically, we have super bowlers or like smash attacks in general work really well against those type of bases. So let's see if they can make good work of that as well. There is some lightnings coming in to make sure that this scatter and this expo going down early on and making sure that the pathing is set, because he will most likely go into that multi-phone tower and go all the way with the lock launcher into the town hall and use then the Royal Champ for the top scatter shot compartment.
Yeah, it keeps a nice, healthy focus moving in and gives easier access to focus on the scatter shot to the opposite side, but needs to pull this Warden back around. It also is a huge time saver by using those zap quakes, because we know the Warden can take some time in clearing up. And while the Super Bowler Smash tends to be the faster of the smash attacks, you still don't want to waste anything. But look at what we have coming in here. We've got the Giants, the Super Giants, to come through. Little hang up here with Wi-Fi, so let's hope this isn't an issue for Jay Carlos. Comes back into play, but the Super Giants taking the lead, so a slight switch up in what we get to see in the mix with this one.
Yeah, Super Giants are flying, Witches flying as well, but the logs are rolling. The logs are rolling through, and now it's all about those troops following through. There's so many giant bombs trying to take down as many troops early on as possible. The vulnerability now is getting used to block the single Inferno Tower, which is on that Queen, I believe. And now the question is, can the single Inferno Tower go down quick enough? And the answer is no. Queen ability is getting used. It's not good news at all for Jay Carlos, because he still has to get to that town hall. There's another freeze, and I don't think the wall actually opened. The Yetis have to open that wall. The King ability that's getting used. Royal Champ pushing around the top side with those Witches as well. And now it's all about Town Hall has to fall. Royal Champ has to dodge the Town of Poison, because the Town of Poison obviously really, really dangerous. But this is still looking good with so many Yeti mites leaving that Town of Poison and trying to run and bounce to the next defense.
Yeah, the Royal Champ has some opportunity here, especially if these Skellies can hurry up and take the lead for her. She's got her ability intact, which actually is going to help out quite a bit with the remaining defenses. Nothing of consequence, since we do have the Archer Towers, the Wizard Tower, and the Air Defense and Cannon. Skelly's taking care of the cleanup here, and the Queen is still alive with the Warden, so this has what he needs. And despite what was looking like potential Wi-Fi issues, Jay Carlos comes in and is able to drop the 3 stars, so trying to build back up that motivation despite being down by the count on 2 stars. They're still picking up those triples and trying to showcase a solid performance nonetheless.
Yeah, but I have to say I'm super excited now for the next attack from X Team. They were coming up with incredible strategies so far. The Massive Valkyrie, which we have seen already now twice from XBB, but as well the Mass Hawk Rider with the Bat attack. That was unbelievable as well. So are they going with something crazy again? Are they going in maybe instead with something like Super Dragons again, which they have used a couple of times as well? They could use anything, but I feel like they're not using Queen Shot Slalom as often as some other teams. So let's see. And it's actually going to be Electro Dragons. Okay. We have not seen those too often in the last couple of matches, actually. Instead, the majority of times we have seen Super Dragons, otherwise regular Dragons with Dragon Riders, but not Electro Dragons. So let's see how he's going to try to overcome this base. Electro Dragons are in from the top right side. Loons are behind. Now the question is, how quick can he push through it, and especially how good are those Electro Dragon chains from this top side?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of chainable value coming in, but a lot of resistance as well as he works his way along. We've got the King down at the 10 o'clock side of the base with the Queen following through. Opens up the access to the Town Hall to take this down so the Electro Drags can worry about the core of the base. Some of them working through in the center, but dying out very quickly, and the remainder dying out on the outskirts before getting to the multi-targeting Inferno. That Royal Champ would be responsible for the scatter shot, but it means she needs to come in for the Archer Tower and multi-combination potentially, but He's got this delayed flame flinger coming in now here, down at the bottom side of the base. There is a minute 50 seconds left to go. Queen struggling to get that town hall taken down. Burned through her ability already, but the freeze needs to be enough to hold it off. It is indeed. And this is losing its opportunity. So not quite the finish we were expecting to see coming in from X Team. Perumania finally getting the defense that they had been hoping to withstand.
Yeah, and I predict that we're going to see this base again in the second match, because the reason for this is that this is the base as well, which they one-starred yesterday. So guys, if you want to copy a base, this might be the base to copy, because not only one-star like defended X Team yesterday on a one-star, it as well defends now X Team in the second match as well on quite low percentage. So overall, crazy good base, it seems like. Electric Dragons did not work. We have seen the Queen Charge Valkyries did not work yesterday. And yeah, things were not looking that great overall on this base. So we're going to see most likely the reuse again from them. And either way, this 2-star means that we're going to guarantee see a second match in this final to see who is going to win this golden ticket and obviously the $30,000 prize pool.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge one for X Team coming into this. Obviously, this puts them in a good position to finish off for the day. Not the perfect war they were hoping for, but a 14-star. And we'll see if it's going to be a 1-star win or how much more they can hold the defense, which is going to potentially mess a little bit more with with Perumania's heads today. I think because this is a very different approach than they thought they were going to see coming in.
Yeah, and overall, it just had to be the safe 2-star, right? So everything good over here, nothing had to be shown. Because if they're coming in with some more creative attacks later, they do not want to show their hands now, especially if it's not needed. So all good on that end, getting the safe 2-star, securing that win in this important first match for them. And now it's up to Perumania. They have to decide, do they try to go for an extra 3-star, or do they try to maybe not show too much of their hands, but maybe they're just doing their strategies anyway, so then they do not have to worry about that. So let's see what they're coming up with. Let's see how the approach looks like. And obviously, if they can have the mindset reset quick enough, because that was a really dominant showing from X Team. And for Perumania, things were not really going their way. So what is the last attack looking like? We have a Lalo attack coming in with 3 skeleton, but we have double poison. So this means, wait a second, is that... We have seen that base again with the Super Dragons. Do you remember it with the double single Inferno Tower behind the Town Hall? Is that the exact same base, or it just tweaked a little bit? Or did they actually use the same base twice?
I would hope that they would at least tweak it if they're coming in with this. And seeing the Skellies and the invisibility and the rage, are we going... No, we're not going to see a Skelly donut, but we are going to see some of the distraction pulling our way through. That invisibility helping to carry the Royal Champ or the Queen in a much needed position to dive a little bit deeper coming through. Scattershot needs to go down as the Hound pulls, so drops that invisibility spell to carry the Royal Champion along, who is holding on to that ability and going to have to use it to try and get some of the singles down. Queen does successfully take down the Town Hall here, but does freeze up the range and holds off the Hound to ensure she gets the job done. Well executed and nice quick moves to ensure that he keeps that Queen alive and safe away from the Hound.
Yes, but he was way too late with that Royal Champ ability. The Headhunter was causing that the Royal Champ ability did not go up, and the Royal Champ ability overall, there was no shield. He did not take down the sweeper. Now he's going into 2 sweepers with that single Inferno Tower staying alive as well. This is not looking that great with that Royal Champ ability completely, yeah, swags kinda because of the defensive Headhunter. And now we have a wave of loons coming in. The question though, can they handle the double sweeper? The Slammer on the outside is tanking the scatter shot. More and more loons are coming closer, but there's now the red mines and black mines coming in, hitting those loons hard, and still the air bow is left. The scatter shot is keep shooting, and then we have always those sweepers. They're so deadly. There's only 1 haste left to speed those loons in, and He's trying to save that for the Reloons which are coming out of that slammer. So the question is, oh, is this going to work? Are there more traps behind the tower? Are there more traps between those Inferno Towers? That's the question so far. There's a lot of loons overpowering the top side. But wait a second, the Inferno Tower, it seems like it's invincible. It's not going down. And now the loons are going to the wrong direction as well. And the Inferno Tower is left staying again. And double Inferno Tower single in that middle. That's, yeah, not looking too good. And you have to remember, this one sweeper would have went down if you would have concentrated on that Royal Team ability. But maybe he can still overpower that with a lot of minion and this one dragon.
Yeah. Still able to try and take this down impressively because of the range of that ward, and the dragon helping out with this one. 13 seconds left to go, and they do make it a convincing finish here.
Wow.
With the 13 stars impressively. So they're at least fighting back against X Team in this war, being held back by 1 star, and this should give them some confidence coming into the next match. I think if there were 2-star differential, this would have put them in a tough spot, but X Team is the winner of this first matchup. This does force Perumania into a second position to try and turn things around, but look at that, 14-13. X Team with the convincing percent here as well, and they were quite on their way for a perfect war in this one as they had followed up. But let's take a quick look at those player stats. Itsu.
Yeah, the player stats, we can see only 1 fail on the X Team side. On the other side, we do see 2 fails, but at the same time, those fails were higher percentage. So this is something which you always have to be careful about with those attacks. And this could be important in this next one, that if you miss out on this 3rd star, at least the percentage is somewhat close or good looking. That's like the important thing. So this first match was already incredible. We have seen insane attacks from both sides, but I think we should take a look at the replay, right?
I think we should. And the one that I would like to highlight comes from Hamura. This was definitely an impressive one, and you know, something that we don't get to see every day. And that's something that X Team is actually showing us. And that is with the execution of the 6-bat combination, starting it off to actually clear up the bottom side of the base. So no splash to worry about, goes in, is able to pick up the Teslas here as well, going for the surround of the defenses, picking up that single targeting Inferno and clearing the path for the wall wrecker to actually come in. Again, something that we don't get to see much of these days, that wall wrecker, but this opens up such a beautiful push coming in. And it also opens the opportunity for the heroes to work to that adjoining compartment where the scatter shot remains with the king, the queen, and start shaping up the path for those hog riders. But keeping it going and moving along nicely with time, because you do, of course, have to worry about that. It has been an impressive push. So this is a way that people might start thinking about, where there's no splash on the back end, where you have easy access to get the town hall, to rethink how you're using your bat spells. A 6-bat spell combination, enough to clear out that full surround there. Now with the ice golems coming out of the CC, could be a worry in hanging it up, but not enough to hold off the troops, especially with sending in the hogs to get everything going. We of course bring in the warden and the royal champ to help push through, take on those defending heroes, and sail our way through some of the splash. But when you're working with hogs, or even the hybrids in general, your heals are everything. You need to think about the focus of where you have the heavy hitting damage coming in, particularly the splash. So works it in for the multi-section in the core of the base, and right ahead of where we have that wizard tower. So these are the combinations to think of where you want to place it, and of course the warden ability that can carry you through. But it's the freezes on the back end where we have that remaining splash. Look at the spread where the scatter shot and the wizard tower is. That's perfectly calculated, knowing that you get maximum value out of the freeze spell. So anytime you have those combinations together, always think of where you can use those freezes. And this was such a convincing performance from a hog attack. You've been waiting to see these ground attacks, and this was done in style with the swag ability of the queen and the royal champion. So sometimes thinking outside of the box is the way to go, and X Team certainly showcasing that and showing why they are on the road to potentially getting that golden ticket, but they still have one more round to go. And Itsu, think we've got another replay to take a look at to see what your favorite pick of the day was.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we have to go again with the Valkyrie. XBB is just going crazy with those. So we should take a deeper look at how exactly he's making them work, because no one else is using them. So this is to me just so fascinating, especially because I'm always saying Valkyries are useless, Valkyries are bad, don't use Valkyries. And this man is here at the world stage and like 3 starting bases left and right. So I think definitely we should take a second look at that as soon as we're ready over there. And overall, I think XBB is for sure a player we should highlight. Not only he's using those crazy armies with the Valkyries, but he's always attacking first for his team. This is maybe even crazier. I don't know. Either way, he's starting things off most of the time with this Warden Walk on one of the flanks of the town hall. He's trying to take down the town hall either with the Flame Flinger or with the Sneaky Goblins. Yesterday he tried to do it with the Flame Flinger and fall short. This time around today he's trying to adapt and trying to use instead the Sneaky Goblins to make sure that this town hall is always going down, guaranteed, and instead having the Flame Flinger on the other side, because that is less likely to be baited. And we can see Flame Flinger on the other side, taking down the Eagle, creating a nice funnel for later on for the next stage of the attack. Sneaky Goblins are in for the Town Hall with that invisibility spell, leaves no chance of reacting. And then something which is even more important, he's drawing out the Clan Castle. I don't know if that's intended, but I guess because he's using the different angle from the Sneaky Goblins, the Clan Castle lure is intended to make sure that he's not about to face the Lava Hound or the Ice Golem inside the base, because this would mean that the Valkyries are stuck, and especially the Queen is stuck, which then most of the time means that the healers cannot follow those Valkyries, and that's the important thing. Meanwhile, you can see the Flame Flinger going crazy on this far right side, and even though at this point 1.5 minutes roundabout are gone in his time, he's still chilling, taking down the Clan Castle without any problems, because he knows, and that's something obviously which is a big factor, Valkyries are fast. They're incredible fast. They're like moving into those bases really quickly, trying to send those Valkyries in, delaying them a little bit because they're so fast. So sometimes they're just running ahead of those heroes. So you need to make sure that you're catching them with that Warden Ability, and take a look at that. They're spreading everywhere, taking down the Queen on the back end, taking down those scatter shots as well. And with that, he has his heroes again remaining. He has his heroes as main power for this attack. Queen taking down the top side as a kind of like a Queen charge during that attack now inside the base. Meanwhile, we have the Warden doing some damage left and right, doing some damage everywhere. And the King with that Royal Champion combined then around the bottom side with a couple of spells left. Sneaky, Freezes, and Invisibility spell right there to make sure that this bottom compartment with that scatter shot has no chance whatsoever. And yeah, I guess that's how you use those Valkyries. To me, it's just mind-blowing. I'm really looking forward to see if and how he is going to use them in the next match. And I still personally hope that he's going to come back as well with some mass healer attacks, because that's what he's known for a while back as well. But either way, it's going to be a fun one. And XBB is for sure one of those crazy creative masterminds out there, coming in with those Valkyrie attacks, and especially seeing those entries is not an easy thing either. So I think we're ready. I think we're ready for the next match. And yeah, meanwhile we have a dog trying to come and have some screen time as well.
Yeah, Rusty's coming in for a little screen time today. I think he's excited that you are a believer of the Valks. Rusty definitely getting into the action, and he's curious to see what's going to be going on in the lineup. So very exciting stuff. But I think the most impressive thing is that is 2 back-to-back Valk replays for you, Itsu. So you are becoming a believer. It's true. We finally made it happen.
Maybe he's able to make it happen. Yeah, I mean, so far I was the biggest Valkyrie hater out there, I guess. But maybe I'm convinced that Valkyries are somewhat usable in the right hands. Let's put it like this, because I mean, it's not like everyone is using Valkyries, and that makes this so special. Like that he's using the Valkyries at the highest stage. I mean, this is not like any tournament. This is not like a community tournament with I don't know, not that much on the line. This is like a ton of prize pool, and in addition to that, the golden ticket is on the line. ClashWorlds ticket to join one of the 8 teams at the end of the year. So It's a lot of money on the line, a lot of pride, a lot of everything, and them getting those Valkyries out there, that's impressive.
It definitely is, but I like that we're seeing a lot of variety coming into the mix. I mean, we've talked about how difficult it is to defend when you have a scenario like this with so many different strategies, but it does create a lot of opportunity for excitement. You know, it keeps it interesting and fresh and keeps it exciting for viewers to watch as well, because you never know what you're going to see. But again, we have our lineups here for Perumania and X Team Esports. Den, of course, the MVP for X Team, and Mr. Jeff, the MVP here for Perumania. But Mr. Jeff losing out that status slightly in the last matchup. Den has still held strong, though, to hold that MVP status. So we can still look at the stats again, Itsu. And it really is impressive how close these two have been held. Like, the average destruction is exactly the same. This is ridiculous.
In the stars, 0.1 star is Perumania in the lead on the average stars in this tournament so far. That is just incredible. We are hyped for another close match. I mean, this last match as well was 14-13. So even though in the beginning it kind of looked one-sided, the finish was only a 1-star difference. And overall, I cannot wait to see if teams are switching up their plans with their bases. As I said already, I pretty much guaranteed they're going to run the same base again, which has defended already on the 1-star. Even though, just imagine this. I mean, you know that I love those mind games, right? But just think about that they kind of, after yesterday, where they had the 1-star against Perumania, and the 1-star this one specific base, had to take it today again. They knew a 2-star would be enough to win. So they used some E-Dragons onto the base instead of actually using the plan which they have worked on, because, I mean, it's a base which they have faced. It's really likely that Perumania is running the base again in the finals if they meet again. And just to kind of like save some time, if you want to call it like that, if you want to save some time during the planning, so instead you plan already ahead, plan the bases which you know from your opponents, and you can see the traps as well in the replays then. So what about this? They knew how to 3-star, they kind of like had a plan how to 3-star, they knew a 2-star is going to be enough, so they want to pretend that they have no clout to attack it, and that's why they used E-Dragons and kind of intentionally. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much into it, but I love to think about things like that. Those crazy mind games which are possible. But either way, I think that base is going to be used again. If it's intended or not, let's see if X Team has an answer this time around, though, for that base.
Well, it's part of the strategy and definitely makes it more exciting. And I'm noticing that if you're over in the Twitch chat, there is a poll going who you think will claim the first golden ticket. So if you're in the Twitch chat, get your polls in. Let us know. If you're over on YouTube, type it in the chat. Who do you think is going to get this first golden ticket? Is it going to be X Team or is it going to be Perumania? We want to hear from you. We want to know who you think is going to get this win, the $30,000 prize, and the ticket to go into the World Championships. This would be the first team contender to make their place in, and a team that actually has knocked out STRUT after 2 consecutive years of winning it first. But again, a lot of prize pool on the line. This was a $50,000 prize pool tournament, and first place will get $30,000 of this prize with the golden ticket. Second team walking away with $15,000, and STRUT, who landed in third place, is walking home with $5,000. So there's still a lot on the line here. A $15,000 difference in this matchup, plus the placement to go into the World Championships towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and as soon as you're qualifying for the World Championship, you already guarantee prize money as well. So it's even a bigger difference prize money-wise. So there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of things you want to fight for. So I cannot wait for that next match to start. You can see below us the time ticking down. You guys are as excited as we are, and we cannot wait to have things started, especially with those crazy attacks again coming in. I really hope that they see those crazy plans again. Like, that was just so enjoyable to watch, and especially I feel like we have a lot of meta attacks right now which are used by a lot of people, like those Super Dragons, like those Lalo attacks, but seeing those out of the box thinking, out of those box plans, like this Hawk Rider attack, It is just incredible seeing those pros come up with those ideas so quickly and actually can somehow play them as well. I mean, there's one thing having this crazy idea in your mind, like that might be able to work, but able to execute that is a whole different story as well. So really nicely done. And now we have J. Carlos coming in with the first attack of the last final match, Perumania versus X Team. And we have the Super Giant, Super Bowler Witch combination again from him with his lightning and earthquake spells as well. Most likely coming in for a scatter and X-bow on one of the sides and the warden walk in front of it.
Yeah, and we were able to see this come in convincingly towards the end. Zapquake here to, again, speed up the process of this Warden Walk, shape up the value, and take on some of that flank damage. We are going to work our way from the opposite side of the town hall, so pushing that warden down towards the 6 o'clock side to lead the log launcher in straight across. And we've got all those infernos centralized in that area, so having the Yetis come out is like a perfect position for them to work through if he can keep that slightly delayed enough to open up at the right timing. And great value out of the Super Bowlers with the range that they do offer for the scatter shot.
Yeah, and with those regular wall breakers, he's trying to now get this access into the core. But wait a second, a lot of those super giants actually ran around the outside. And now there's not too many tanks left in front of the super bowlers, in front of those heroes which are pushing slowly into that core. The healers have to keep them up alive. And we have the log launcher coming from the bottom there as well. In between of those Inferno Towers. And again, an interesting setup, which we have seen now multiple times from X Team. We have the single multi-Inferno Tower combination in the core. Typically, we see both having the same setup. Well, we hope that there's not any disconnect going on, I guess. Yeah, we are waiting for the Wi-Fi to come back for J. Carlos while his troops are running on the same space and waiting for them to be allowed to keep going.
Yeah, J. Carlos, this is the second time we're seeing him with the Wi-Fi issues. We'll see if it reconvenes. The unfortunate thing is, while we do have the Super Giants that have come back, we have things in place, he would not be able to use a spell combination to get that jump into the Town Hall, the Rage. Obviously, we have the auto abilities that could come off, but it means that we can't connect it properly with the Warden that we want to use to keep everything protected coming into the multi and single section of the base. So still patiently waiting. I see him hitting some buttons as we look at him going along, so it should speed back up, and there we go. Connection is back. It does not look like he's dropped down as the Super Giants work their way in. We've got the log launcher in there opening up those Yetis, but can they take the lead with the Forced Warden ability coming in to take down those surrounding Infernos?
Yeah, and even more spells are coming in, so we can see that it's not a disconnect. Because sometimes we know that even if you keep playing and even if you 3-star on your device, this does not mean that the server is saying, okay, that's a 3-star. Sometimes it's like, no, I like to have it better a 1-star. But this one is looking good for J. Carlos. We have the Super Bowlers and everything getting pushed into the Town of Poison, but the healers are trying to keep them alive. At this point now, it's all about the time. Time is ticking, it's 1 minute, and let's see what it's going to be. So far, a lot of those troops are dying out in the Town of Poison, and with only 45 seconds left roundabout, it's going to be a tough fight, because was there a troll tester or something on this far right side? I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like, yeah, there's a troll tester on this far right side, and the Queen has to deal quite a bit of more damage as well, with the far left storage still being alive.
Ooh, the Skelly's going for it with the minion, though, on the 3 o'clock side. Is it just enough to take it down? It is not. And with the Queen ability, it's not going to be enough to get through. That Queen going to try and pick up as much percent as possible. Wizard going for the northern side of the base, but we are looking potentially close to that 99%. 2-star might actually just be the 97 coming in with the Queen with no opportunity. But we're heading straight into the next attack to come through. I believe we have the next one lined up and ready to go. With that slight delay that came in. So XBB underway, and here you go, more Valks. You know you love it, Itsu. I think we're turning you into, we're gonna convert you. This is what you're gonna see on Itsu's YouTube. Coming in is all Valks every day during his Legend League hits. This is gonna be his new jam.
Please no. I mean, let's see. Let's first see what XBB can do again in this attack. Taking down the Town Hall. We have the Flame Finger on that top side. He has one healer not deployed yet. I mean, seeing him attack is most likely planned, but still, saving this one healer to maybe place it then later on onto those Valkyries. And again, he's trying to find angle where he is having the... where he's having a nice jump location. And actually, I'm trying to remember, I think that's the base, which has worked quite well. But let's see how this base is going to defend in this attack. Warden abilities in Clan Castle coming out, but there's witches in there. And we know Valkyries, they do not bother about witches that much.
No, they don't. And we do have those headhunters that got flung, but we still have an easy pass. The Skelly poison spell coming down to hold off that defending royal champion, try and get a fighting chance in as the king wraps his way around to take on the Expo. And royal champ coming in from the opposite side. Skelly's to distract for the scatter shot, but she's got the Tesla farm that is also pulling her distraction here, but giving her the opportunity with the Skellies to try and push her way through and hold on to that ability. He does have a final freeze left to go, but only one. The Yak takes down the other scatter shot, which means this royal champ still has a fighting chance with a single. 51 seconds left, and there is a huge spread to still get through and cut across to the 3 o'clock side of the base here.
Yeah, Sneaky Goblins have to finish this off. And now remember, it's the Altano base, actually, which I posted on YouTube. So surprising to see it in here. Can those Valkyries finish off the base with the Royal Champ together? Otherwise, Altano having Perumania in his backpack. And so far, it's looking time-wise a little bit intense. So this might be a defense right there. With the tower not going down, but the Valkyries are getting some more percentage. But that means it is as well the first attack for X Team falling short. Altano, OP base builder right there. That's how you do it. And Perumania know where to get those bases from. So this means 93%. And yeah, lower percentage than we have seen from Perumania.
Yeah, they fall about 4 buildings shy. And looking at the predictions that were in over on the Twitch chat, it's 81% of the viewers that believe X Team will come away with a win. And I think the viewers might have just jinxed it with what we saw coming in there. 4% shy, unless X Team can come in with some more convincing defenses, which we did see in the first attack. They might be in a bit of trouble because Perumania might find this as an opportunity to get things raring and ready to go. Get those triples pulled in now that they've seen what X Team is made of.
That's right, for sure. And I mean, percentage lead is there, but still it's incredibly close for both teams, and there is so many more attacks to go. So anything can still happen, and Mr. Jeff is in. The MVP for Perumania. Can he show off? Can he lead his team into the first 3-star of this match? Because so far we have seen two 2-stars, one each for both teams, and we have the Dragon Rider Dragon combination onto this base of melee, with some lightnings early on for a sweeper to make sure that those dragons are not pushing against that. With already a couple of Tesla exposed, making sure that he can push into that eel compartment.
Yeah, we've got a lot of power coming from that ice golem. Sectioning this off perfectly with the Tribrid that we have coming in. A huge combination of the dragons working their way along. And we, of course, have the blimp to sail through coming in. With the surround of that single targeting Inferno, we will likely see the open up of the Loons and Drag Rider coming down, but I often like to see the clone opportunity for those blimps that provide a more convincing opportunity to pick it all off. Not going to be the case here, but he's got a powerful push still coming in. But the scatter shot never went down. This is a huge backtrack that's going to have to happen. And he's already sending in his Royal Champion from the 3 o'clock end.
Going all in. going all in for this one. The blimp is connecting though. The trap is over there. Invisibility spell is over there as well. What is in there? Is it actually... It's Yetis again. I don't know why they like to run those Yetis so much. Can those Yeti mites now take down the town hall, or do they go for the Expos? That's the question. The Yetis are going... Oh no! Oh my god, that was so close. Taking down the town hall with those Yeti mites, jumping across. And now it's all about those heroes, those dragons, to finish off this base with the Royal Champion tanking right now. But the Queen has a unicorn, and that's the strongest pet right now in the game. Keeping that Queen alive, making sure the Queen can just survive the entire backhand. But wait a second, there's a scatter, and that scatter might be a big threat to that Queen.
Yeah, that scatter that didn't go down with the position that he had the Hydra coming in from is the biggest problem for this. Yes, the Queen has her ability, but there are a lot of storages to get through, and she needs to hold on to that ability. Warden doing his best along with the Electro Owl to take care of the surrounding defenses, giving the Queen just a little extra opportunity, but there really is not enough time to try and get this done. With the Warden and Queen working together, it does ease up a little bit more, but they're bypassing the cannon, which means that's going to be the last remaining thing to go for. Wait, they're coming back around, but he's still got a long way to go. And this Queen needs to work her way through inside the wall to get to the scatter shot. And we know she's going to beat through the wall to try and get it done, Itsu.
Yeah, she's not even going for the wall. Instead, she's
corner.
going around. Like, that's a smart Queen. That's surprising. What? But yeah, getting that 3-star, and we see Mr. Jeff celebrating right there. The first 3-star of this match, the 3-star for Perumania to keep their lead. Whatever X team is doing, Perumania have the lead now in this one. And we have to now wait for X team what they are about to do, because they need to 3-star this as well to make sure that this match is staying close. You do not want to fall behind not only 1 star or even 2 stars. And especially not on percentage, because we have seen in the first match as well what type of impact the percentage might have. So, waiting for the next attack of X Team, and let's see if they're coming in with something creative, or if they're going for the Super Dragons or Dragon Rider combination, which we have seen quite a bit in this head-to-head face-off at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's a sassy Queen. I see a comment in chat that Queen did twice over exactly the opposite of what I said she was going to do. So she said, she's that 200 IQ Queen that everybody hopes to have, and definitely saves for Mr. Jeff, who is the MVP for his team here. And now we've got the other MVP for X Team, Den, coming in, who has gone perfect so far in his attacks, opting for the Super Drags. We see this quite a bit. And again, going in with the Flame Flingers, not for the Town Hall, but going for the outskirts where we do have those mortars that we have to worry about. He's got the Barbarians to try and distract as it gets in range. So they are keeping a close eye on where to drop these to ensure that he doesn't take on too much damage and can take down the Eagle.
Yeah, the mortar now, though, is getting distracted again by the Barbarian and by the Archer. That's always really nice to see that they try to limit the damage on those siege machines to make sure that they're surviving as long as possible. Now the Eagle is next on the menu. Already 1 minute gone, though. Like 1 minute of this attack already gone. So he needs to make sure that time is not a big factor in this one. And at this point, he started to place the Queen around the top side somewhere, I think on the right side. And there is the Super Dragons coming in. He is going all in from the other side. He has no blimp whatsoever. He just relies on those Super Dragons and on his heroes to take down the Town Hall somehow. Because the Flame Flinger, that one's at the bottom side, taking down another air defense.
Yeah, this is a beautiful push coming in, but they need to get through the core, getting in a good position to wrap his way around the base. It's leaving these town halls to the very last minute. That is always cumbersome and a bit worrisome, but this is where we use the power of the heroes to come in. Royal Champ also working along, but we have the entire Tesla farm surrounding it, and that's going to make it a little bit difficult to get through, but the Raid Ship Dragons should help out in this if they can make their approach.
Yeah, but all of those dragons into the Town Hall is not the best thing, to be honest, because this means the Town Hall Poison will deal quite a bit of damage. We have one Super Dragon leaving and one-shotting that Inferno Tower right there. The other Super Dragon tanked the bottom side. The Queen now can reach that scatter, can reach that Expo from this channel. And things are looking really good for Den. coming up with the first 3-star then as well from the X team side. Really nicely done, and I don't know how those guys are doing it with those risky approaches. I mean, he's coming from the complete other side of the town hall, just relying on his heroes to somehow take down the town hall. Taking it down, as soon as it's falling, it is another nice 3-star. The time is not going to be an issue. He's even able to swag another freeze, and with that, X team is on the board as well with their first 3-star, and this match is staying incredibly close. Only the percentage being the difference in between of those two teams at the moment.
Yeah, it's the 4 building difference that is separating them right now as the stars are tied up. And in this kind of matchup, it's not a matter of the carrying over of the stars, it's a matter of wins. So if we have Perumania come in with a win because they've already come into this with the upper bracket and a match advantage, they would get the win on this. If X team get the win because they just came in with the previous win, they'll get the win. So it's going to be a tight, close-knit match, and we have definitely seen a big turnaround from how Perumania felt coming into that first war. I think definitely taking some signs and signals of how they needed to step up their game, and they are doing it for sure. But a 4 percentage differential does leave a lot of opportunity open for another defense if X team can hold that off.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. We see another defense, another legend base, but I think it's tweaked a little bit where the ground expos are, but this layout itself might be familiar to the one or other attacker, which is at the moment in Legend. And that's something as well, which Boom said. Like, it is so important to push at the moment in Legend, not only if you're trying to compete in tournaments, but just overall, if you want to make sure that your attack are at the highest level. And that's how we can practice so good, just in general attacking. So let's see how Kronos is attacking, approaching this base actually, and where this queen is going, because he's coming in again with the queen shot hybrid, a ground strategy which we're not seeing too often, but the last couple of days we had like around about a 50% hit rate for this strategy. So Wallbreaker is in, queen is supposed to charge now into that tunnel compartment, and things so far are looking good, but he's about to approach 3x bows and the tunnel, which is a lot of damage.
It is a lot of damage, so we're going to have to keep an eye on those rages coming down. Needs to keep an eye as well on those healers for the Giga Inferno. The Queen is taking on so much heat, and he doesn't want to burn through that ability. Does he have an invisibility he can drop? Instead, freezes up the expos so he doesn't burn through the ability. We talk about this a lot. You want to use your Queen ability coming in deeper into the core of the base where you're taking on that additional damage and keep those rages going along. And he successfully does that and holds on to the invisibility spell, which can give more value not only for the Queen but perhaps for the Royal Champion towards the back end as she works in with the hybrid. I like the section off here because you notice the placement of the siege barracks and the King working together to narrow out the pass coming directly into the core of the base, and this warden time is going to be critical coming through the double multi combination here.
Yeah, he's trying to cover those hybrid troops with the, for the bomb towers. That's what he's doing, a double ice golem coming in. Okay, there's going to be some ice time for those hybrid troops. Not going to move too far. There's the freeze as well coming in, but he missed that defending warden, and with that, the Royal Champion ability is getting forced. But the bomb tower is surviving, so the bomb tower on the back end is still looking scary. Queen versus Queen action around the top side. And his Queen died in her ability. This means his Queen is down. He's relying on his troops now. But with this back end scatter and the defending Queen over there as well, can deal a lot of damage, can distract the miners from the scatter. And he knows that this Queen ability has cost him most likely this 3-star. Otherwise, the Queen could have tanked the scatter shot on the back end. And with that, things are not looking as he wanted it to be, and that might be a big defense for X Team for them to come back and get back in the lead, because the 3-star would for sure completely change the outcome again. But double multi-Inferno Tower in the core and scatter shot surviving, and that one Queen ability falling short and completely changing the outcome of this match, or this attack.
Yeah, and I honestly think an additional wall break on the outside of the base down by the 5 o'clock side could have made a huge difference to force the P.E.K.K.A. and the King a little bit further through to actually get the pathing of the hybrid into the center where we had that multi get more value, because you saw the shift over of the hybrid away from the multi-targeting Inferno and moving in where we did have the CC troops. So that definitely does make a difference in that, in the pathing. So just small adjustments maybe could have made a difference, but this is where you see it's not an easy approach. Hybrid is not dead, but it does require a lot of planning and the right bases to work your way through it and make it actually succeed. So Perumania now is in a tough spot, because if X team come in with the 3-star, they can claim that 1-star lead. They were down on percent, but it's the stars that are going to matter for them here, and that's what they're looking to do with Jaga coming in with the super drags.
It is the base, the one base, which so far has given X team so many problems. Is it going to be the base, which is defending again, or is it actually the biggest 5-head mind game which we have ever seen in Clash of Clans? If we 3-stars this, we would need to ask them if it was, like, if they had this plan already before, or if that was like a plan which they come up with now. If they hold back on that plan earlier, but he wants to take down that tunnel with that angle, with his flame flinker, wants to take it down and then send in those super dragons into the base to take it down. So far, the base has defended a 1-star, and the base has defended a low percentage 2-star against X team for Perumania twice overall. So an OP base right there. But this time, the Flame Flinger is connecting. The Flame Flinger is connecting to that Town Hall. And with that, a huge defense. You can say, by far, the most important defense, actually, of that base is gone. And even the air defense is gone as well on the far left side. So things are looking really good.
Yeah, ooh, drops the Valken for the Skellies that crop up. Just wants to ensure this Town Hall goes down, has enough power to do it. Unfortunate to see the flip of the Yeti, because he could have gotten more value for the defensive side of this, but still picked up what he needed to. This is a beautiful opener, and this displays the beautiful range of the Flame Flinger and why you see it being used by a lot of the players. Drags working their way through from the opposite side, just need to ease their way into the core of the base. King from the opposite end, but we still need to push our way down towards those scatter shots on the back end, which means we might reserve this Royal Champ coming in from about the 530 side of the base.
Yeah, he made sure that this one top Super Dragon is getting kept raged up, and oh no, the scatter is getting skipped, so that's now a big problem right there. But with the King inside and the Royal Champion still at the bottom side helping out the Super Dragons, things are looking really good. And this might be the time. This might be the time where this base is beaten. This base has fallen versus Jaga versus the Super Dragon attack with the Royal Champion ability bouncing away, and he has 2 freezes left. He has an invisibility spell left, and this should be it. This should be the attack. And at this point, I would die for the information if they had this plan already the last match, but then they decided to intentionally fail it because this would be the biggest 5-head move ever. But either way, a nice move and getting the lead back in their favor in this really close match. Both teams were 3 stars, 7 stars for Perumania, 8 teams for X team.
So what are you saying? They intentionally failed on a base to get them to rerun a base that they knew that they could take down in the finals and get that advance.
Obvious.
They are now 1 star ahead. Yeah, I've had 200 IQ move right there, Itsu.
At least 900. I think that's just better on the thumbnail. 900 IQ move. That's just how it works. I'm kidding, but yeah, now we have it back for Perumania. They're in the same situation as they were last match, being behind X team. X team having everything in their own hands. But at the same time, there are 4 attacks left. 2 attacks each for those 2 teams to battle it out and see if X team can come up with the crazy comeback, the crazy reverse sweep, if you want to call it like that, because they have lost yesterday versus Perumania, and today they have beat them once. Can they beat them again to get the golden ticket and get this prize pool for the rank 1 in this tournament? That would be the big thing. Perumania, they're next, and they have to 3-star, otherwise things are not looking that good for them.
No, and as we discussed on the Twitch side, the majority of the viewers expect to see X Team coming in with the win based on what we saw in the previous 2 matches, and they have just made it. So it's turned around in their favor by the 1-star lead. And of course, now up on percent. Let's see what Fredo can do with the Queen charge. Lalo here coming in with the Queen, starting towards that Town Hall position. She's got a nice easement and opening to lead her way through, but we've got 4 super wall breakers to actually lead her around and create the passage to get in there, and also potentially open up a little bit more for the King, but also using the Flame Flinger here to take on that scattershot position, just having to be mindful, of course, of the mortar towards the outside edge.
Yeah, and he's trying to funnel his Queen into that Town Hall compartment. He has to be careful though. I mean, the Town Hall poison is going to be a big problem. Or is he going to wall break maybe around that corner somewhere? We have to wait and see what exactly the next step looks like. But there's the Clancaster now coming out. Poison it early, and there's not much damage on that Queen. He still is going to rage it just because of time. He wants to make sure that time is not going to be an issue. And this rage is perfect because he's going to be able to take down the Hound, which is obviously taking quite a bit of time. And he's able to take down the Wizard Tower. And in addition to that, even the Town Hall, which is a lot of high HP buildings. And with that rage, he was able to get through the majority of them. And now, you said it, the Mortar actually took a lot of HP off that Flame Flinger. Now that Queen is in the danger zone, is in that single Inferno Tower.
Yeah, definitely going to struggle against this Flame Flinger opening up early, but we've got the Loons to try and make their way through. Not going to be able to get into that safe zone without being taken down by the Royal Champion and the Dragon on the outskirts of the base. So something to keep in mind is that he has to adjust for this now. We've got the wall breaker opening up, the Queen access leading deeper inside the space, and this could potentially give her what she needs for the range to come in, considering we have an additional wall break to work this way through, and the King to provide distraction from the opposite scattershot end.
Yeah, Royal Champion tanking right now, losing her ability soon, but maybe she can take down even more buildings, but no, she's running in front of that Queen. So the question is that Queen going to get enough value? She took down both defending air heroes. She's about to approach that Moja Inferno Tower, but she cannot reach that scatter on the back end. He's trying to wall break her in, but it's not working. The wall break is only going for the scatter itself. And there's a scatter left alone on this bottom side, and it's only 40 seconds left. That's the point. Is he going to make it? Can he sneak a Loon or something on top of that scatter? That's the big question. 30 seconds and time is keep going downwards. He actually dropped the skeleton spell on the top scatter. I don't know why he didn't drop that on the bottom scatter shot. But with that, the Queen is able to reach it, and that should be it. That should be another 3-star for Perumania.
Yeah, Fredo definitely in a good spot, trying to keep those 3 stars coming in and hoping they can hold a defense to keep X Team back, because they would need this win to advance on and get that golden ticket. But X Team definitely putting up a good fight so far. Another 3-star from X Team keeps them in the solid 1-star lead. So we will see. It's getting close, getting very tight-knit, and not a lot separating these 2 teams.
Yeah, there's not a lot in between, and that's like the final which we were hoping for, a really close match where it can go either way. X Team is up next to make sure that they either keep their lead or maybe throw it away, whoever knows, depending on if it's going to be a great attack or a really nice defense. It's going to be another Hog Rider attack. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. We have the blimp flying across, and there's going to be, is it going to be a blizzard? It seems like it. It's going to be a Blizzard Mass Hog Rider attack. Okay, that's just crazy. Cinti, is that you trying those Mass Hog Rider attacks? Getting the scatter, getting the bomb tower, and with another Expo falling short, it's a ton of value already. And with the Ice Golem, the Clankas do it as well.
Yeah, definitely honing in on the power of Sinthe with this. No bats this time, but still coming in with the Hogs. Gets that beautiful CC lure to the outside edge of the base. There is the poison to help speed this up, get the Queen taking this down quicker, and of course Queen out of range of the defenses, which makes it so much more easier to get your path starting and moving along. And we see the Wizard Tower, the Wizard down here to help ensure that the Queen funnels her way up north towards towards that town hall. Very important that you take care of your cleanup. So he has set this off perfectly, but a little bit of a time restriction with those ice golems holding off the queen.
Yeah, the Giants are in, the Warbreaks are in as well to make sure that he's reaching that ground expo. The King is trying to push him from this top side, and the Eagle is activated already, so he can get started with the Hawk Riders, but that's, I mean, he needs a lot of multitasking for that. Eagle activated, King is getting shot at, and this Queen has to redirect now for that Town Hall, otherwise this is not good news for him. The Town Hall has to fall. There's the freeze, double skeleton trap over there, and the Queen exactly nicely running around, and there the Hawk Rider starting. Multitasking has started. The Warden has to follow. There's the Warden ability now with those Headhunters in the Warden ability. Things are not looking too bad, but still there's a lot of base left with some sneaky Tesla around that top side scatter as well.
Yeah, the Tesla he's going to have to watch out for, but the Queen ability able to take on the single in the back end, so definitely limiting any additional damage that he'll have to worry about there. Freezing up the scatter shot and the Tesla farm as he makes the approach. Royal Champ trying to hang on to this ability to get the maximum amount of value since we have no more spell space for this, but the Hogs really, well, some of them benefiting out of the position of that heal, but the outside ones not so much. This is beautiful that he's held on to the Royal Champ ability so long for the back end, knowing that the splash was going to be the biggest problem for the Hogs to get through. And this does give Hamura what he needs to get in with 20 seconds left to go. Sneaky Goblin trying to get through into the CC position, taking that down because he still needs to jump over those walls, get that Royal Champ there and get it on. But the Wizard is coming in to help out since the Sneaky Gob can't do it. And the Headhunter, is it enough time with 3 seconds left to go? It is just on the buzzer and gets that 3-star and claims their 1-star lead. Continuation coming through into this 4X team.
And wow, Hamura, incredible attacks. He just did a bad Mass Hawk Rider attack and now the Blizzard Mass Hawk. This guy is insane. Really cool plans, and as well getting those plans well executed, making sure that he's connecting those 3 stars in such a high pressure moment. I mean, it's a big difference if you're just at home playing on your couch for like a regular clan war, or if there is like 30,000 prize money on the line, something like that. It's not that easy to then like make sure that you're executing every single step correctly in your plans, and he did it. Really nicely done. And this means X team is keeping their 1-star and percentage lead for now. Perumania, they have to 3-star and have to hope for a defense still. But this match is not over yet. It's still far from being over. 1 defense and everything can completely swing around. So we have Alberto coming in with the Dragons and Dragon Riders versus this base from Den. Again, one of the most popular bases in Legend. Let's see if Alberto is pushing on Legend and knows how to beat it. But I think there's a small twist to it. I think typically we don't see that many air defenses in the center. I think that's specifically to kind of make the life of those Super Dragons and air attacks in general a little bit harder. So let's see and wait while Alberto is trying to snipe the Town Hall with those Sneaky Goblins.
Yeah, picking up a lot of traps along the way. We see the Skellies there trying to open up the course coming in, and he's got to be careful with this. Drops the invisibility spell, makes the target on point, and will take it down nice and easy. Even has 5 additional Sneaky Gobs that he can use to help with some of the cleanup along the outside edge and set up the funnel that he needs to work his way along.
Yeah, we have now the Dragon starting in from this bottom side. The Lava Hound got lured. But the Headhunter, oh no, the Headhunters are not in the poison. The Queen is getting, oh no, Queen has to force her ability. That's a huge ability already gone from the beginning. Warden is not catching all of those dragons. Hound pop, but that Queen is actually dead. The Unicorn was not able to keep it up, and that Queen dying just versus the Lava Hound and Headhunter Clan Castle. And now we have those air defenses in the core. They're dealing a ton of damage to those dragons.
Yeah, this was a 3-star needed in order to try and take X Team down and hope for a defense that would be strong enough to hold them back. And this is a tough ask now, a tall order without the Queen to help out. Royal Champ, of course, can come in, but we have a double scattershot combination to worry about here with the Dragon still struggling to get through. He's got a Rage and a Freeze that it looks like he wants to hold off for this Royal Champion to get maximum value, considering it's a double scattershot single combination with defending heroes on the back end. And that's exactly what he does. Drops the Rage, and it powers along with the Drag Riders and the Dragons, but traps along the way are starting to knock them down. Freezes up the single and the scatter. Royal Champ holds on to the ability. Itsu, it would be a miracle to turn this back around into a 3-star, but he's got some chance left potentially.
Oh, that Queen on defense is going to be devastating depending on which troops are getting targeted first. The Queen is trying to take down the Dragons, but the Dragons are not going down without a fight. 30 seconds left. He has still Goblins left to tank maybe the Tester. The Tester. Oh no, another Black Mine. And now it's a 1 versus 1. Warden versus Tester. And it seems like the Warden is winning that one. But oh no, even more red bombs in the Black Mine. No way. No way. The Warden going down versus Traps. The base has defended 97, 98%, but not the all-important 3-star. And with that, X Team, they can use Electro Dragons again. They need 2 stars to win this match, to win the first golden ticket for 2022.
All Alberto needed was that Warden to survive. He would have taken down the rest of the base, taken down the cannon, even if those sneaky gobs died through that giant bomb. That is so unfortunate, but base building definitely showing up in that case. And unfortunately, with the misplacement of the poison spell, not getting those headhunters in it and losing out the Queen early definitely did him dirty on that one. That could have been an easy adjustment for it. But we can see traps coming in super handy in this one to hold off for just enough for X Team to come in with a convincing finish. A 2-star is all that they need to win this war, so this is not the time to play it risky. Melee, though, coming in with the Super Drags. We've got the Flame Flinger, and again, we've got it positioned, lined up here where the mortar is, so he's got to keep some range, and this is why we bring in these Barbarians and Archers to try and help distract.
Yeah, and it's the Super Dragons to make sure that this is guaranteed a 2-star, and they're going to guarantee get that golden ticket. He's just going to take down this right side of the base with the lock launcher, with the flame flinger, make sure that the mortar is getting tanked from those Barbarians, and with that, the flame flinger is going to survive without losing too many hit points. So things are looking good for Melee. The entry has worked without any crazy Tesla farm or skeleton trap baits, and the Flame Flinger is still going strong.
It certainly is, and we've already got some sectioning off on the 9 o'clock side of the base, starting to work our way through here and shape up what we need to come in. But we need to get to this town hall, and we're going to head straight in on it with the Super Drags. We're going to use that Warden ability to help carry through, keep everything alive and well, and get through the core. But again, it doesn't matter about the 3-star. It's all about the 2. That's all he needs, the percentage and the town hall. And it is a done deal. Rages everything up, gets that Warden ability through, carries the Super Drags along. No tornado trap to push them back in so they can forge their way into the core of the base as the heroes take the surround to keep them pushing through into the core.
Yeah, and the defending Royal Champion even got taken down by that Flame Flinger. That's how much splash damage that siege is doing. And with that, the 2nd star is secured. We have our first team, X Team, winning this first golden ticket. Now the question is, can they do this with the perfect with the next 3-star right there? But so far, it looks like that the defense is too strong. The multi-phone tower in the core is left standing, but wait a second, yes, they're yet to deploy that Royal Champion, so maybe that can help to take down the core.
Yeah, not only deploy the Royal Champion, but he's got a Rage and 2 Freezes to carry this through. Baby Drag coming into the center of the base, trying to work its way through, take on the multi, take on the storage here. Nice, easy push coming in. Rages up that Royal Champion, carries her ability through, and we've got the Queen ability. Freezing up the single on the back end, getting to the Eagle, and Itsu, This is looking good. Time is ticking. It's 27 seconds left to go, but the Yak, the King, still working their way along with the Queen behind and securing a devastating victory here for them to advance on into the World Championships. They've had a 15-star performance against STRUT, and this is the second 14-star performance that they've had against Perumania, and getting their final revenge. Not only that, but the $30,000 and the advancement into the World Championships. X Team will be our first team to join in the mix.
That's right, and they were the best team in this tournament for sure. I mean, they used a wide variety of strategies. We had Mass Valkyries, Mass Hog Rider with Blizzard, with Bats. We had so many different strategies from them. So really looking forward to them to compete later on this year on the big stage. 14-12 was this final result. Today, overall, out of those 3 matches which they played, only 2 attacks were non-3-star attacks. So really nicely done by them. And you can see on your screen right now the player stats from those 2 teams, as well to Perumania. Obviously, GG, they did an incredible job, and I think they can be really happy with this second seed. Incredible bases, especially. Like, their bases were really, really strong, giving not only problems in the playoff stage, but as well in the Swiss stage to a lot of those teams. And this is why Perumania as well finished 3-0 in that Swiss stage. And there we go. The top 3 teams, X Team, Golden Ticket, $30,000, and as well Perumania with a $15,000, and STRUT today, obviously earlier on, dropped out a little bit early with the $5,000 still on their bank.
Yeah, not the way that they had hoped it would go, but still walk away with a prize pool. But X Team definitely showcasing what we have in store, what these teams are going to have to prepare for in the World Championships to come. This has been a phenomenal way to kick off the World Championship tournament and the way to get in. Beautiful formatting coming in from Queso Cup with this Golden Edition, going through the 2 qualifiers, the Swiss bracket, and the incredible playoffs that we got to see. A 4-stage process to get here, but Itsu, just as a reminder, there are more ways to qualify, and we spoke about it a little bit earlier. So just make sure you are on Twitter, that you're following the COC Esports Twitter page, that you're seeing ESL Snapdragon Pro Series for your chance to win if you're in North America or EU MENA, and also keep an eye on Clash Masters for your other golden ticket opportunity. There's $120,000 of prize pool on the line for the Snapdragon Pro Series, and $50,000 on the line for the Clash Masters series as well, along with those golden tickets to come. So this has been a phenomenal performance, and I have to say, it's always an honor and pleasure to be casting alongside of you, Itsu, with your expertise, your knowledge, and just your pro level of gameplay expertise here. So thank you so much, and a huge shout out to our production team as well here at Queso Cup.
That's right. It's always nice to work with them. And obviously, shout out to Supercell for hosting overall this competition with all of the different tournaments leading into this World Championship Finals at the end of this year. And as Lady B said, there's many more ways to sign up. Tomorrow is going to be the sign up close, I believe, for this the Snapdragon Pro Series. So make sure to sign up over there if you're in America or EU MENA, and we will see you there with that next stream, right?
We will. Looking forward to seeing you next time, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the wars, and a huge congratulations to X Team as our new World Championship players coming into the mix. The first ones to join. We'll wait to see who the rest are to come. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys later.